They do not know the rising towers of Hillbrow. They do not know the sprawling suburbs of the north. They do not know the sweet sounds of isiXhosa, Afrikaans, Sesotho. They do not know our ways. They do not know our people. They do not know us. We are not waiting for permission. We are not asking to be seen. We are our own region. We are SSA, RSC Johannesburg, RSC Nairobi, RSC Saint-Denis. This is not just a league, it is a movement. 4 seasons deep, and we are only just beginning. We train on 200 ping. We grind through blackout. We fight through silence. And we win anyway. This is Sub-Saharan Africa. This is our fight. This is Season 4.
It all comes down to this tonight. Unbelievably, amazingly, we are on the very last night of RSC Season 4. It's been 9 weeks of league play plus 3 days of playoffs to get to the master tier. Tonight, we crown the final champion of RSC Season 4. I'm Greybeard and thrilled to be here. Let's thank the people that made it possible, our sponsors. First and foremost, our broadcast sponsors are, as they always are, Genesis Extreme. Although tonight our broadcast sponsor is Dutch, and we are thrilled to have him, and he's only mildly anxious, pushing all the buttons and making sure that the production happens. And then Nearstream, who came on board during the course of the season, and our prize pool sponsor, Slayer Energy Drink, starting with a guaranteed prize pool of 15,000 Rand. And with the purchase of boxes, cases of Slayer, which I and you and all of us bought, we got that prize pool up to around 18,000 Rand, 18,400 Rand. And that money will start being distributed in the coming days for all of our champions. So, 9 weeks of league play, week by week, with a mid-season LAN in the middle of it all, and then the playoffs starting with Prospect on Monday, Rivals on Tuesday, the Elite last night, and tonight it is Master. and it has been a banger of a season for Cosmico. 2 championships, 3 grand finals, and the potential for making 4 straight grand finals in every tier. What a potential for them tonight to end the stream on the highest, or end the season on the highest possible of highs. So tonight, as we've done throughout playoffs, we have 2 streams going. This is the main stream. Then we have Brav running the alternate stream. And we'll have 2 play-ins matches happening simultaneously on this stream and on the B stream. And the winner of each of those matches will then progress to the semi-finals, where they will meet the teams that finished first and second for the season. And a rivalry that's been going on for across the tiers. Cosmico and Death Cloud Esport, they finished first and second, so they are sitting waiting in the semi-finals, waiting for the winners of the play-in matches. On the B stream, it's going to be Shadow versus Ox Gaming. Those are the 4th and 5th place teams playing one another. And then over on the other side, on this stream, we're going to be having White Rabbit Gaming versus Azura Gaming. And those are the 3rd and 6th place teams. Winners of those move forward, and nothing has been straightforward about playoffs this season, because every night, none of the grand finals have included both of the 1st and 2nd place league play teams. Will that change tonight? Well, we'll certainly find out over the next 2.5 to 3 hours. That's going to be a banger. And banger series, banger playoffs, call for banger casters. And I'll be joined by 2 for our first series, Bromeo and Rhino. Gentlemen, here we are. We're at the final. And without coordinating, we didn't discuss this at all. Everyone's rocking their highball merch. And I'll see. For some reason, my yellow is particularly washed out, which is unfortunate. But gentlemen, so Bromeo, I'm going to ask you the first question, because when you're 3 or 4 months out from a RSC season starting, you're very pumped about it, and it's like, yeah, and we're going to do this, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to do all these great things. And then the season starts, and there's calamity, and there's problems, and things fall over, and nothing seems to work out the way we had planned. But somehow we put it on week in, week out. We have league play. Then we get to the playoffs. And at some point, the thought crosses your mind of like, I don't know that I ever want to do this again, but I don't know how it's been for you. So how has it been for you, Bromeo?
David, it's been very weird. I'm not going to lie. I went through the full spectrum of emotion with regards to RSC. Was really, really pumped in the beginning, hit the mid-season flat where I hated everybody. Every time there was a ticket open, I wanted to stab someone. But now, as we approach the final night, I was sitting today prepping for this, and I'm like, this is the last night. I'm pretty sad about this because I've been really, really enjoying this season. I've been enjoying the season so much from a gameplay perspective. There has been so many good moments tonight. It has been up until this point absolutely immense, and sharing the experience with such a talented group of individuals has made me just so grateful for this. So as we approach this last night of Rocket League, I am filled with nothing but gratitude and excitement.
And that's the way it should be. And well done to you and everyone who makes this happen. And Rhino, you've been a staunch supporter of RSC, both in EU and in SSA. And you've gone about it the right way in terms of, you just show up and be fabulous on stream. I say that fully aware that you've got your own things that you admin, like your Minecraft charity thing and whatever. So there are things where you bleed your blood and sweat and swear and whatever, but for here RSC SSA, you show up and deliver bangers. How are you feeling as we close out the season?
Listen, if I can give the voice to the players who are going to be watching back the streams, and maybe it's some of these players like only chance to be on stream for the season, I want them to have a quality broadcast. I want them to have a lot of hype behind it. So that's why we bring the energy that we do, man. And it's been nothing but a joy once again to be a part of the RSC SSA family, and getting to host a few more weeks as well this season, which has been a lot of fun. And I love the SSA community. It's been genuinely so much fun ever since I first started casting here. And hey, we're going to close RSC down tonight, but that's by no means the end of it. There is so much more to come. SSA Rocket League is maybe as big as it ever has been, and I love every second of it.
All right. Well, I think that's about enough of the waxing flowery. Let's get down to business. I don't have no what. Never mind. I was actually going to wax lyrical there for a moment, but I shall not. We shall move on. It is Master Play-ins, Master Playoffs over on the B stream, guys. We've got Shadow and Ox Gaming. Been a good season for Ox. Shadow, as always, a little bit up and down, but they managed to get into a playoff position. And so you see their fourth place playing fifth place. And then on our stream, we have got White Rabbit Gaming versus Azura Gaming. And Bromeo, it's been nice to see Azura making an appearance, certainly over on the prospect side. They're here again in the master side. A very young org, a very local org. So good to see them having a bit of success.
Really, really good to see it. And I know that the standings right now show a bit of a desperate story. White Rabbit Gaming up on Played 36, 124. Azura on Played 36, 117. So it's not exactly close. And Master's one of those places where it is generally very polarized, and this season is no different. And Azura Gaming locked in their place in sixth, and I was having a chat with one of their players earlier today. You'll know him. His name is Olympic, and he is still about 25 demos short of finishing on top. So there is a strong possibility tonight that White Rabbit Gaming have their work cut out for them if they want to proceed through into the semis, because Azura Gaming has one determined demolitioner on their team. So if I was a betting man, which I'm not particularly, but just watch out for the 6th seed Azura Gaming side.
Well, nothing has been straightforward about about the playoffs this season, and we've seen it since Monday. But right now, based on what Bromeo's just said, do you think the path to champion is a little more going to be a little bit more predictable in Master?
No, I really don't. Listen, the Master teams are set up of players who on any given day can peak out of their minds and put on a spectacular performance. That's why we love watching Master. And I think even with Azura Gaming being currently in sixth, their top salary players, their top CMV players have a lot to offer. Not only that, but of course, when this game was played in the regular season, it was a tie. It was Azura 2, White Rabbit 2. So sure. This is not as predictable as people are saying. This is not as simple, as clear-cut as maybe we can make it out to look. I genuinely believe if Azura Gaming get a hot start here, it's only a best of 5. We don't get onto best of 7s until later. It could genuinely go the other way.
Well, gentlemen, that's about enough talking about the theory. I think we need to get going. I think players are ready to fire up and bring the heat to the pitch. So play in number 1 over here on the main stream. White Rabbit Gaming, Azura Gaming. Bromeo, Rhino, take it away.
Oh man, I'm excited for this one. It is such a banger. It is one of those games that's going to be explosive, or it's just going to be a flat wipe, Rhino. There's going to be no in-between for this series, and I actually prefer those.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'd like to see it obviously be the closer side of things, but if we do see a full sweep, then it is what it is. But there is a hidden meaning you have to remember as to why we're all wearing our Hybo shirts. This is the Hybo Derby. You've got Ravi on one side, You've got Devour on the other. These two played in the RLCS regular season together, and of course they broke up now for the coming RLCS season, but they play each other here on the field, and you can almost see this as a little bit of a pre sequitur in a way to the RLCS season coming up. So there you have it, Azura Gaming Silverback taking on White Rabbit Matrix Bromeo, and I don't know. I've just got a feeling. I've got a vibe about this game that it's, as I say, it's not clear cut. It's not easy.
Well, it depends on who they're planning on pulling through onto their pitch today, because Azura Gaming is made up of 4 players: Jerome, Devour, Teach, and Olympic. So if Olympic's on the squad, it's going to be a bit of a banger. If it is their top 3, it will be more conserved and reserved. And having a look at the White Rabbit team, it is Ravi, Galaxy, and Apple Sauce. That is... Galaxy is a contracted WRG player, so he is very much in with that space. So they have a well-oiled machine this season. They are in 3rd place for a reason, and I'm just having a look quickly over at the chat vote, and Matrix WRG took 70% of the channel points in that vote. So if you were voting for AZG, you stand to make a chunk of change right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do understand why the vote's gone that way. It totally makes sense. We mentioned those reasonings earlier with just how many extra games it feels like White Rabbit has won this season. But I still go back to the point that any given Master Team can be any other given Master Team on any given day. And we might be able to see that here today. You mentioned it there. We do have Olympic in the lobby, which says to me that he will be the one who is taking to the field for Azura. It will be Olympic, Jerome, and Devour who will be representing Azura Gaming today, which I like that team. I like that lineup. And I hope that, as you rightly mentioned, they've got those bumps and those demos in them, because if they do make it difficult for White Rabbit Gaming, then it's gonna be tough to come. It's gonna be tough for them to play the game that they want to play.
Well, indeed it will be, but this will be a contrast of styles. Will it be the abrasive Silverback? Will it be the synergistic Matrix? We will all be finding out shortly. But the one thing we do know for certain, Rhino, is that this is Knockout Rocket League. So no matter what happens, at the end of this game, one is going home and one is going to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. We would like to get this underway right now. Unfortunately, one of the players has just disconnected from the lobby, so we will be taking just a little bit longer, of course. We do apologize to the players as well. We had a little bit of an issue on our B stream game, where one of the teams might not have been particularly ready, but yeah, it just seems like one of the players' internets has died. So hopefully it's just a little quick reset and they'll be able to get back into this one. But Romeo, we've talked a little bit about what the chat predicts. I'd like to talk about what you predict, my friend. I don't just want to hear a team prediction. I don't just want to hear the boring, oh, White Rabbit are going to win. I want a series score from you, Romeo. What do you think?
Well, man, this is going to be a tough one. This is a best of 5. We're not through to the best of 7s yet, so it could be early over in 3 or it could go all the way until 5. I don't think this is a game 4 kind of spiel today. I think if Silverback bring it, it'll go all the way to game 5, and that's what I would like to see from them. But I still believe in WRG. I believe in the Ravi and Galaxy combination. I think that they played incredibly well together this season, and I find it very difficult to believe that they would drop it this late at this late in the event. And if we go back just a little bit and we saw the fairy tale run of AZG and Prospect, it's proof that anything can happen on the day. AZG started in the same seed in Prospect and fought all the way until the grand final. So Rhino, do not take anything I say now as gospel, but I think that it is going to be a game 5, and I think that it's going to be Matrix to take it.
I totally agree. I think this one goes down to the wire as we go to a game 5. I'm going to take Azura on this occasion. I think they've got enough, but the players are just about joining the field, which means this game is getting underway. Your play-ins for Master, the final stream of the RSC season, gets underway with White Rabbit Gaming taking on Azura for a spot in the semi-finals.
Oh man, love to see it, and straight off the bat, Jerome taking it into the corner, and they are going to want to start with a statement, because if they don't do it early, you'll feel that WRG are going to gain confidence, and they will gain momentum. So the impetus is upon AZG to make a statement today.
And we'll see if they're able to do that. Olympic moving down the left-hand side, looking for a ball into Devour, who's got a lot of boost in the middle, but it's blocked away there by the side of Matrix. And that pass down is nice, but Ravi doesn't have any boost to work with, so Applesauce now trying to get around, get an opportunity. Galaxy off the ceiling on target. Devour, good in defense this season, and once again proved it there. Ravi is going to push this one over to the right. Can he get the second touch? He can, but Devour waiting for that one on the back wall, sends it away for Azura.
Ooh, Olympic on the counter, takes a shot off the crossbar, almost there. Jerome, can he get the touch? Ravi meets him midfield and then takes a 50 right off the purple line. It is looking dicey right now, but both defenses holding firm. Jerome with a very good touch here now. Olympic trying to take it through, gets faked out, and it looks like there's a disconnection.
Yeah, unclear as to what's happened here. It looks like our producer is also disconnected. Yeah, I figured that Olympic shot was a little bit too easy just to go home. So from our perspective, folks, players are just driving around in a circle. And maybe this... Yep, there we go. We've been kicked out of the server, which is unsurprising.
Man, no proper way to start a Master kind of game when Olympic takes a free shot at goal, the world goes absolutely nuts, and the servers decide that we have to restart because, no, it cannot be that easy for you, Olympic. And so, yes, there will be a server restart. The lobby has been reset, and we're going to get everybody to jump into this game. Let's just call that one a warm-up, Rhino.
Yeah, I guess so. And no goals scored, right? So no team is going to feel especially chagrined after this restart comes through. We are just waiting for them now to rejoin. But while doing this, we can bring people updates from the other stream, which of course right now is watching Shadow Abyss versus Oxgame and Wildebeest. And it's currently Wildebeest who are doing fantastic work. They are 1-0 up in the series, 2-0 up in the game currently. So they are looking to march on to the semifinals. But we're back! 5 fresh minutes on the clock. It's like we never even started initially in that first server. And Bromeo, WRG versus AZG is back live.
Oh man, it gets me a chance to get excited about it once again. Applesauce with the touch, trying to hit the backboard there, but Galaxy mounting an effective attack early on, met by Olympic. And I'm just waiting to see some of those demos popping off because he did promise that it would be one of those days, and he is generally a man of his word and a man of his demolitions, as Jerome now takes it up into the midfield.
And Applesauce doing a good job down that left side to win it off the backboard, fakes out Olympic, goes low, looking to go alone. Devour makes the save, and Olympic pushes it away to midfield, but a lovely solo run by the Matrix man. He's going to try again. Ball out in the corner. Jerome's been demoed. He's not got a lot of boost. Ball off the backboard. Jerome can't save it. Ravi to finish the job. And he finds first blood in the play-ins.
Oh, there you go. Jerome was awkward. Didn't have the boost. He was wanting a little more. Didn't get the touch, but Ravi did. Clean enough, putting it back left. And there you have it. WRG are now up by 1. And they have the ascendancy now. Galaxy passing off to Ravi. Gets the mid boost. Straight through the midfield. Jerome with the read doesn't get the touch, but Devour does. And it means that there might just be a bit of survival on AZG's front for this opening stanza.
Yeah, there may be. It's a big pinch over to the left-hand side. White Rabbit going to have to deal with it, and Applesauce Push it over to the left. Devour, big interception. Olympic now has time, space, and boost. The 3 ingredients normally in a Rocket League goal. This time it does go over. And now Galaxy on the right-hand side, looking for the pass midfield. Jerome, angry about being demoed earlier, maybe. Absolutely sends Applesauce to the Shadow Realm. Still 1-0. And now Applesauce again in the midfield. Jerome taking over, looking for the pass to Olympic, but Galaxy cuts him off.
Saying the ingredients for a Rocket League goal. That sounded like a Rocket League cake. Space, time, and boost, and straight down the middle. That ball goes, and met with a 50 by Jerome. Olympic's going to play it high, but Ravi reads. Takes it off the sidewall. Playing it through to the center. There's nobody on the backboard. It's going to bounce. This is awkward. It should have been a goal, but saved away by Devour.
Great save there by Devour to keep AZG within touching distance. And he wins the ball over the top of his former teammate. Once again, Applesauce over to this left-hand side. Jerome misses out. Apple takes the shot. Olympic not ready for it. It wasn't the most powerful of shots. It wasn't the most precise. It was just Applesauce making sure the ball was on target. Olympic couldn't make the save, and it's 2-0.
Jerome with the fake there. A bit of a mistimed one there as it gives WRG the 2 goals they need up in front in this game number 1. This game 1.1 as Devour takes it off the backboard, gets a very loose touch. Galaxy almost getting the double there, hands it off to Jerome. He gets a good play into the air, but Ravi reading it before he even did it and blocks his own player on the shot to the goal there.
And Olympic will be able to clean up, but only as far as Applesauce who takes a shot. There's going to be Galaxy at the back post. Jerome in trouble. No! You squishy save from Applesauce. That's wonderful. And with 2 minutes remaining, that really could be quite key, because at this moment, getting back within 1 would have been devastating.
Oh, what a game it's been so far. Shot taking. Ravi seems to be everywhere right now. Olympic collecting the corner boost for his efforts. Jerome taking a straight shot. Might have been the play, just burning up the boost reserves. Applesauce playing it high, met by Jerome though. And now heading down into the last 90, shot coming through. Galaxy fends it away, gets the read. An open field for Ravi, picks up the mood boost. It's going to come off the wall now, off the ceiling. Does he get the reset? No, he doesn't. He fakes it out, but read well by the AZG defense.
Certainly was, and now Devour sends it over to the left, looking for Olympic. He doesn't pick up the boost, so this is not going to be the most effective, and especially if he misses the ball like that. But Jerome, given some time, out of the corner, looking for a pass, and actually Ravi might have given an opportunity to AZG. Olympic goes over, but it does go off the backboard. Jerome once again trying to pick this up, and where's this AZG been for the last 4 minutes? They've really been struggling in their own half, but now they finally got some offense, and Olympic might have something to make it all worth it. He does get a goal back, and that's going to be 2-1.
There you go. Mr. Demo himself of Mount Olympic. He gets the first goal for AZG, and not too soon. They narrow the deficit by 1. WRG are still in the lead, and this could be trouble as Ravi picks up the corner boost. Challenges right here off the line. Shot coming in, and Applesauce takes another goal away.
That's lovely work from Applesauce here. It's a nice pass in from Ravi, but you kind of do expect Devour to get there. The only problem is he's got nothing in the tank to make the save. And so this one just going below him. Nice shot from Applesauce. That 2 goals now for him in game number 1. He's going to be feeling it moving forward in the series. Ravi might get an extra one. Devour saves away. Still 30 seconds remaining, and Devour with a big clearance here for AZG. Out of the corner, needs help. And a demo onto Applesauce is going to do that, but Ravi with the solo play down the line.
Oh, Devour a little bit awkward on the, makes the touch. Galaxy not taking that touch, and happy to do so as it is awkward, but the only thing we need to know right now is that the score will remain 3-1. And that means WRG are going to be deserved winners of this game number 1. There you have it. Time runs up. Ball hits the floor. In game number 1, it's all WRG.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you can see that from the stat lines, which we do have in front of us. Applesauce 2 goals from 3 shots. Fantastic work there. Ravi a goal from 3 shots as well. I mean, and that's where a lot of this has come from, right? WRG had so much of the ball, had so much of the momentum that they were just able to put shot after shot after shot on. They totaled 10 across their whole team, which I believe is over double what AZG were able to put up. And that is a concern moving forwards for Azura Gaming. But the flip side of that is Matrix only won by 2 goals, Bromeo, which means that it was actually quite a close game until the final few moments.
It was indeed, and like we said, heading into this, like I said, I suppose that this is either going to be a Game 3 sweep or it's going to go all the way, and a bit of a muted start for this AZG side, but here's the chance for them to turn around. It is the start. They lost the first one, but they regain for number 2.
Yeah, they certainly do, and we are going on to Futura Garden to determine who will take home this game number 2. Just waiting on a couple more players to join the lobby, and as soon as we get everybody here, we will be kicking things off because the game number 1 is done. And hopefully we'll be getting back into the game. Just while we are waiting to update you over on that B stream, Ox Wildebeest is now 2-0 up in the series. They've just started that game number 3. But we are just about to start our game number 2 here. 6 players in the lobby, ready to play some Rocket League, Bromeo. And it's all down to Silverback to try and get back into this series.
Olympic getting demoed. That's not in the script. Man needs to get demos, not get demoed. And Ravi playing the shot in. Hands off to Applesauce, who gets the corner boost. Galaxy meets it high and handing it off. Applesauce full of stolen boost. Takes the 50 off the line and immediate pressure for WRG. As this game is kicking off with some high-octane action. Applesauce now playing it deep. Jerome, the only man back. Ravi in the midfield. Watch the passing lanes there as he is dangerous on any loose ball. But it seems they have survived so far. Back pass, but met in the air by Olympic. Could be trouble, but cleared away.
Yeah, now Applesauce down that left side, but it's a nice pass in from Olympic. Looking for Devour. Didn't feel comfortable in trying to take that ball. So now it's going to be into the middle. Olympic and Devour working together to try and clear it away, but the pinch doesn't come through for them. Jerome in a one-on-one versus Galaxy, trying to get it around the defender. Does get a bump on him, which might be enough. Jerome has an opportunity to turn this one home. Doesn't happen just yet. Devour out of the corner. Olympic is up, but he doesn't have any boost. Applesauce sends it away. And now that should be that as far as this attack for AZG goes. But White Rabbit turned down the other end, and they've got an idea to try and get a goal themselves.
For what a game has been so far. Applesauce taking high, but Jerome needing it with just in time. No sufficient pressure being applied. That's more like it. Applesauce on Devour, and the aggression is showing. Ravi gonna take it through to the air, gets the 2-touch, almost got the 3. Now Applesauce faking it in, leaving Galaxy to fend for himself while the parents are away. Olympic getting the touch across goal. Jerome taking it in, it's open, and Jerome scores!
Just quickly checking that no one has left the lobby, because that's what happened the last time a goal similar to this was scored. But no, the goal is just simply open. And I have to say, White Rabbit Gaming, that is not the best defensive look they've shown all night. Silverback able to take a lead, and maybe they're just going to try and sit on it, try and win it 1-0 with 3 minutes left to go. Well, that might be one of the most textbook caster curses that has ever been given. That's crazy.
That's crazy. 1 all apiece. The counter and the curse done in a matter of seconds. And just like that, we're starting blank slate. It's all here, and Ravi trying to get the double shot. Couldn't get in there. That's going to roll in, and Galaxy getting the touch here. What are we seeing?
I was going to ask exactly the same question. What are these goals in this game number 2, man? What are they? Is it a competition between the teams to try and get the slowest possible Rocket League goal? Like you get more points or something? I don't know what's going on. 22 miles an hour. Very, very slow for a goal in this game. Olympic down the right-hand side, trying to get a ball into the middle. Applesauce pops the ball high. I will say that play was after a Ravi attempted double, which he very nearly hit. So we got to give someone credit. Devour trying to get some pace back into the shots. Doesn't happen for him this time. Jerome, though, does beat Ravi at the near post, and that is going to be 2-2.
Man, these shots are coming out of nowhere. Jerome flying from the side, hits the redirect, back of the net. Manchester United, 2 goals apiece with 2 minutes and 20 left on the clock. It's a game of twos, but we want to see more.
Yeah, it's more like Jerome and Burmo out there as he manages to get these goals. Devour! Oh my goodness gracious me! He saw his former teammate try this earlier, and he's decided, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. The huge dunk off the double touch. And Silverback have gone from 2-1 down to 3-2 up.
Absolutely disgusting. Devour macking it off the backboard and straight into the back of the net. That's what we want to see. Jerome getting pull-shotted here. And now the game is starting to open up. 5 goals so far in this encounter. Ravi playing it up against the backboard now. Galaxy feeding it through to the side. WRG going to want to respond now because AZG are playing with their tails up. Olympic playing the shot through down the middle. Nobody's back. It could be awkward. Galaxy fending it away.
Yeah, and actually he's going to try and make a counter here as well. Gets a good 50 onto Olympic. Out of the corner now, looking for Applesauce, but Jerome is there. And I tell you something, he was maybe missing a little bit in game 1, I think it's fair to say. Game 2, Jerome has absolutely stepped up for his side. 2 goals so far. I think he's going to be looking for more, but Applesauce down the right-hand side instead. Gets the better of Jerome. Ravi trying to get it past, but Devour's the one to make the save. Galaxy is the third man, drops it down. Who's there? It's only Jerome. Applesauce plays it off the backboard. And I tell you something, I don't expect that what WRG thought this AZG team were going to come at them this evening.
They're bringing the heat here. Devour taking the touch, taking the 50, putting you first. And I'm pretty sure that's an advertisement for a bank, but right here, right now, we're heading into the final minute, and there's nothing but interest and demos as Olympic. Demos Galaxy on his own goal line, but he spawns just in time to make the save. The pressure is mounting now for WRG. The pass comes down to Devour, but Ravi meets him mid-air to block that shot, and my, oh my, what a game 2 this has been.
Yeah, absolutely. Jerome doing some more magical work in the midfield as Ravi now tries to bring this away. Is he going to go for the bump? No. Olympic easily gets up for that one, but he's got no boost to work with. Galaxy will just about get there before Jerome and play it forwards as well, but Devour brings it back down the other way. Jerome wanting a second touch off the backboard. Doesn't happen. Applesauce turns Olympic inside out, now looking for the pass midfield. Ravi is not going to rise, but there's a double commit at the near post. Ravi might have an opportunity, tries to drive it home into the bottom right corner. Devour makes a big save, and with 1 second left, they just need to get this ball on the ground. They decide to take an extra shot. Is that going to come back to haunt them? Galaxy plays it up in the corner. Ravi tries to send it away, but Applesauce is out of position, and eventually AZG do take home game number 2, and we have a series on our hands, Bromeo.
Man, we really do. And what a game that was. That was incredible. And it's not something I expected to come out of AZG, especially after that first game. And just having a look at the points tallies here, it was a Jerome show. 426 points, 2 goals, 1 save, 3 shots, a conversion rate of 66%. And that is absolutely fantastic. So that brace secured them the dub, but it is only game 2. And I was gonna say, if Silverback won that last game, which they did, I think we're going all the way to game 5. They have to. This is that kind of matchup. I think they're matching each other's energy just perfectly.
And I totally agree with that sentiment. It very much feels like these two teams are very evenly matched, which makes for an outrageously entertaining game. And I do want to shine a spotlight on this Azura Gaming roster for a moment, because a lot of teams here in Master, they have kind of one really big CMV player, and then everyone else on the team is kind of, you know, below 1900 or so. Not on Azura Gaming. They've got 2 1925s, Jerome and Devour, kind of their dual top CMV players, which is a really interesting way of building a team, and it's actually worked for them in that previous game, right? You saw that it was Devour and Jerome who were pulling the strings for WRG, making it look so good, and they are able to get that over the line. And if Jerome and Devour can keep that up with Olympic supporting them as best he can, we are in for a serious series, and we're going into game 3 not knowing who's going to take it.
Well, game 3 has started, and here you have it. Straight off the bat, there are going to be some shots fired, and Olympic taking the first. Oh, what a shot by Devour! He reads it. Nobody saw him coming. We didn't see him coming. WRG did not see him coming.
And I think Olympic heard me as I was talking about Devour and Jerome. He's like, I'm on this team too. A beautiful pass over to the left-hand side. And that is going to be Devour to finish the job. And Galaxy, that's a mistouch. Jerome going to have an opportunity off the crossbar. Galaxy just about getting a hand up to make that save. What a start to game number 3 for this Azura Gaming side.
Oh man, Jerome playing off the ceiling, Applesauce playing it off the floor, and Devour playing it off the wall as this ball is seeing serious travel time. They haven't found some serious possession yet, but Jerome happy to take it into an air dribble through to the midfield. Gets a touch into the corner. No serious aggressive threat being shown. Devour 50s it into the midfield, and Jerome catches off the backboard. It's going to get a double down. Can Olympic take the shot? Yes, he can, but fended away there by Applesauce.
Yeah, but not for long. As Devour comes through, he gets that finish. Olympic with a big challenge there. Applesauce into the corner, but just misreads it out of the corner, and it's an empty net for Devour to find it home. And I've just seen someone in chat say, if Devour scores a double tap, I'll buy someone 1,000 credits. Hey, it's already happened, buddy. He's got to score another one, because the goal from game number 2 was absolutely outstanding. If you didn't see it, worth going back and taking a look. But he's got another goal there, which, to be fair, Bromeo is going to be one of the easier ones he scores in his career. Let's put it that way.
I feel that is fairly put. Now Jerome, traveling a fair distance with that ball, gets met by Galaxy. And a shot on the return. Not getting much traction as Olympic, stamping his authority on the game, puts a magnificent pass through to Jerome. Unable to capitalize it on it, though, as Galaxy tries to dispossess Devour. Succeeds, puts it into the corner. It's coming through here, fended away, and what a turnaround we're seeing from AZG. It was all one-way traffic in game 1, and game 2 we started to see the turn, and right now in game 3 it's been nothing but AZG.
You have to wonder what the mentals are like on the White Rabbit Gaming side. They came in as the heavy favorites, but they are being dealt with at the moment, it's fair to say, by this Azura side. And now Devour sending it away. Ravi back in. Jerome had literally just enough boost in the tank to send it away. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is, because Devour was there to make a big save off the sidewall. Ravi trying to turn it around the corner. Olympic is there, and every single player from White Rabbit now having to go back and get some boost. Applesauce able to do that as well. Beating Devour out of the corner, but Olympic there to put it in the side wall, and now again has to make a save. This time Jerome credited with it. Galaxy stops Jerome in his tracks, turning back towards goal. Has Devour, sizing him up, trying to get the ground pinch. Doesn't work for him, and it should be the clearance from Azura.
There's sort of a fragility around this WRG attack right now. They haven't been able to get through in this game so far, despite having a bulk of the possession. And it's all been one-way traffic from AZG as they've been able to score on the counter. Shot coming in here. It's going to go wide. Gets the demo. Galaxy on Jerome. And Olympic, no boost, but gets the touch. Devour taps it down. Galaxy makes the save. And Jerome not able to take that attack through, leaving it for Applesauce with just as much boost.
I've got to say, I really feel like that was Devour's opportunity to score another double tap. He had enough boost. There was no one guarding the backboard. Thought maybe it was going to happen, but at this point, White Rabbit Gaming just throwing as much stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. And nothing is right now for them. Applesauce goes by. Jerome down the left side, gets beyond Ravi. He's got an opportunity to get a 50 onto Galaxy. Galaxy does well to make sure that ball fades away into the midfield, but Olympic getting involved! turning away from the ball to confuse the defense. Look at this. He could have taken a shot. He makes 2 men jump, gives him an easier shot the second time of asking. Wastes some boost as well. That cannot be understated. And that's going to be 3-0.
3-0 on the go. Applesauce taking the 50 in the midfield. Demos raining. Olympic getting dunked. And Galaxy missing the open net. And oh, that is gonna come back and hurt as we're heading down into the last minute. And it's appearing that WRG are not having the best turn of things as Ravi takes it down the midfield, gets met by Jerome, trying to go for the redirect, doesn't have the boost, but still stays and gets the pass down. You can see WRG they're a bit rattled by this. They're overcommitting to things. Shots coming through and straight down the middle. Ravi scores.
And that is going to happen from time to time. They were pushing forward still. We're Silverback, but they get caught out. No one back defending. 26 seconds for 2 goals. I got to ask everybody watching, does anyone believe? Let me know in either the A or B stream chat. I know you're both watching. Let me know if you believe. Maybe Ravi's going to make you a little bit more of a believer. Applesauce goes over the top. Olympic to save it away. Applesauce will try and challenge this surely. 15 seconds remaining. Such little time for something to work. Ravi can't get the 50, and that should be Azura Gaming taking match point.
Oh, it has to be right now. 2 seconds, 1 second, 0 seconds. Hits the floor, and AZG take the lead in this play-in game. It is a best of 5, and you know what that means, Rhino? It means they are on match point.
It certainly does, and Azura Gaming coming out here to prove everybody wrong. 70% of A-Stream chat could be wrong in this game number 4. We will find out in just a moment if that's the case. But wow, a lot for White Rabbit Gaming to think about. They came into this game surely very confident, very feeling like there was no way they were going to lose in this play-in, and now they're up against it. They've got a lot of work to do, and I have to say, they don't look like the better team on the field either. This is a Azura Gaming side we've not seen in the league for a long time.
Well, this is a WRG side that has only lost 2 games this entire season against a Silverback who's also only lost 3 games, but they've only won 2 in this entire time. The rest have been clear draws. A goal difference of -8 to a goal difference of +14 means that there is a mountain of difference between these two sides. So has it just been simple form? Has it been a breakdown on stream? These things happen. But right now, it doesn't matter. Right now, it's finals time. And right now, only one team can take it. And here we are, heading into game number 4, and AZG on their match point.
No way. Oh my goodness, hits the crossbar. What a start that would have been to AZG's game 4. It's not going to happen on this occasion. Olympic trying to get away, but that's a double commit from White Rabbit. Jerome trying to get that pass back to Devour. Just goes beyond him, and Applesauce can send it away. Olympic picking the ball up, putting it high. Devour's there, looking for the shot. Ravi able to clear it away, and then Galaxy off of the Jerome shot, just sending it long. But it feels like a bit of boom ball being employed here by WRG. They just want to get the ball out of their half and then deal with the rest later, which is not a style of Rocket League that I especially like to see. I much prefer the measured approach. They might come back to bite them here as Jerome has Devour in the middle. Devour's going to be up first for this. Needs 2. Might find it. Oh my goodness, off the crossbar. There's Jerome still there. Ravi fakes out that he has more boost, and Galaxy can send it away.
I'm very worried for this WRG team, because the moment Olympic knows he's winning the game, that's when he starts doing the demo thing. And we haven't seen prime Olympic demos just yet, but oh, shot coming in here. Galaxy off the turn of play and scores off the loose ball right here, taking them into the lead.
Yeah, and there you go. Pass back from Applesauce to give it to Galaxy, and then he just finishes into the middle of the net. And that's exactly what Matrix needed. A goal to steady the ship, something for them to hang on to and force Azura to come out and try and score. And actually, that's a great pass across field from Olympic. It's not going to find its target. Another double commit from the side of White Rabbit, though, and more of those are starting to sneak in, Bromeo, which we're already concerned about them in one way. That's another one.
Oh, you're damn right in this, and straight off the bat, the pressure is changing a little. You can feel it in the wind. WRG are starting to believe again, but Ravioli defending against his former teammates, and that's really the story arc we're following today. That cinema that we want to see. It's the Ravi versus Devour, and right now it is Devour up 2-1 on Ravi, despite Ravi having an exceptional game so far. But speaking of Galaxy, playing it through down to the middle, Ravi hanging back, but staying in a very aggressive formation. Galaxy not taking that ball just yet, but Devour with the redirect, and that could have been dirty. But just like that, it has turned down the paces. It's calmed down a little bit as both teams matching through. Shot coming in, and Applesos out of nowhere getting that touch in.
There you go, Ravi just able to play against Olympic perfectly, get that challenge. So beautiful, but it's just not really going to be happening this time for AZG. They are starting to struggle against the pure output, the pure dominance of White Rabbit Gaming. And when things do start to click, when they do get the moment of a clarity, I guess, of being able to work together as a unit, they do look like an indomitable force. However, there have been more than one or two moments in this series where White Rabbit Gaming look like individuals rather than a team together. Not on that occasion, not with that goal, and Galaxy actually looking to go alone there. Olympic going to do enough to clean up, but Ravi now has the opportunity to go low, maybe looking for a double, but again, Devour there to stymie him and send him packing.
Shot coming in, Olympic now trying to get at through. You could see the comms there. Jerome was going to go for the bump. Gets it, gets the pass off instead. Shot coming in. Applesos making the save. No boost to his name, but they are turning the screws here right now. Are AZG. Devour taking the shot down, hits the crossbar. They're at 6s and 7s, and they are not able to make this through, but AZG are showing just what they are capable of, and that is sheer aggression.
Jerome has stopped, which I think means he's going to have to disconnect, which is very much a concern for the Silverback side, because if they were trying to get back into this game, they are without their star men. I think Jerome's internet has been having problems all night, which means there he goes. There is the losing connection. I didn't know we had pauses in them. Okay. I thought we would have just played through.
Well, it appears, yeah.
That's an
I don't know what's being played through here into the finals. I will have to receive a word from production what the rule is on that one. But it appears that there is a pause, and our game admin was the one doing the pause. So we will see. We will see. But for now, it is a 2-up for this WRG team, and that is a good place to be for them right now.
Yeah, it is. And, well, the server is being resetted. We are resuming. Jerome is back in, and we go again. 59 seconds left on the clock. Not sure anyone on this desk certainly knows what the rules are of this postseason, but a pause being brought in. Jerome is back in, and suddenly we can resume and try and finish off this game number 3, which for all intents and purposes looks like it's only going one way, and I've just realized it's actually game number 4, Bromeo. So, you know, game 5 around the corner.
Game 5 on its way. It's an open net. It's going to be a goal, and I know that this team is not going to be happy about that pause, and even less so after this third goal. But here you have it. It is 3-0 now to WRG, and it really looks like we are going straight down to game number 5, Rhino, and honestly, it deserves it. This has been a dead heat so far.
Yeah, I think I agree. Both teams look so evenly matched, but it's funny, isn't it, that there are some games across this series that have felt very one-sided. This game does feel like it's been all WRG since the first kickoff. I've not seen too many Silverback opportunities. Devour wants to shut me up, and he does a good job of it. Plays that one across field. But 9 seconds to score 2 goals is just not long enough. And I don't think it matters what Azura Gaming are going to do in the rest of this game. We are going to be having Champions Field.
Oh, well, what a way to take it through, straight through to Game 5 in this opener. And yesterday, in the play-ins, there was a game of sweeps on both sides of it, on the A stream and the B stream. Both brackets were straight sweeps until the semis, and what a treat. We are in here tonight. Matrix picking up game number 4, and yes, certainly taking us through to game number 5, Champions Field, and 5 minutes where the winner takes everything, Rhino.
Yeah, and you have to say that now going into that game number 5, it is WRG with the momentum. White Rabbit winning this game 4, proving that they are back to strength, back to where they want to be. A team hat trick as well. The fact that all 3 of them were able to get on the scoreboard, they're going to be feeling very, very good about life. Meanwhile, Azura Gaming, they're going to be happy that they've brought this to a game 5, to be very honest. They've won 2 games against one of the best teams in Master based on their finishes this year. And so if Azura want to be able to win this game coming up, they have to take advantages of the opportunities they're given, because we know, based on what we've seen previously in this series, White Rabbit Gaming are not infallible. They will make mistakes. There will be opportunities for Azura. Can they capitalize on them? We'll find out in Champions Field.
Well, here we are loading in now to Champions Field. We are joining it, and Matrix and Silverback now sit on the precipice of progression through to the semifinals, through to the playoffs, where they will seek to continue their run. The loser of this goes home, does not pass go, does not collect 200. And right now, it's only 5 minutes that separate a winner from a loser, a semi-finalist from a home goer. Applesauce with a shot early, though, and fended away.
Yeah, and Devour going to try and break down the left-hand side. Ravi stops him in his tracks. Jerome, though, wins the ball back. Galaxy fizzes that one out to the left corner. And Devour once again picks up the ball, once again gets the better of his former teammate. Applesauce stops on the ball, moving inside. And now this one off the top, looking for a teammate. Olympic, can he find the pass? Inside, no. Ravi will send it away. Devour knocks it forwards. Galaxy sending it back towards goal, but Olympic with a big save. Jerome has an open net. He can't find the finish. And that's going to be the opening salvo in Game 5.
Opening salvos are now done. The first minute is now done, and Olympic is not done as he passes through down to the midfield. Devour is going to keep possession. Met by Galaxy takes it through. Olympic trying to get a touch through to the side. Doesn't quite get purchased there as Applesauce quickly exchanging possession here. You feel like nobody's keen to take the 50, but Ravi is keen to take the reset. Gets the touchdown, and immediate dramatics here as there is a massive redirect towards the blue line.
Yeah, there certainly is. 3.5 minutes. Chat, I want to hear from you. Which team have you got? Do you believe in Azura Gaming? Can they see it through? Or White Rabbit Gaming, do they just have too much here on Champions Field? Make your voices heard. Devour gonna look to get some fans here. Off the top will be Ravi to send it away. The flick didn't quite go Devour's way. Definitely not the way he would have wanted it to anyway. Applesauce pass to Ravi, takes it away from goal. Jerome does enough to put it on the sidewall, but now Galaxy plays the ball back in. Applesauce is there, but Devour coming through. Didn't really need to make the squishy save, but the squishy clearance. A bit of a new one, but that one won't have any saves. Galaxy just knocks it over the back line of AZG, and they take the lead 1-0.
Off the run of play, Galaxy just boink it into the back, and it sometimes is just that simple. A quick turn off the run of play, and there you have it. WRG now picking up 1 goal, and it might be the decider. Galaxy demoing Jerome, passing down the middle. Applesauce picks up 2, and they are starting to believe.
Yeah, they are. Big demo from Galaxy, and then just runs through. Lovely pinch, weighted perfectly for the back post. Didn't get too much on it that it just cannoned over into that far corner, but enough to go beyond the defense. And now there is a mountain to climb. That mountain has just been halved off the kickoff. Devour able to get the better of this exchange and just drive through everybody. And it's an empty net. It's 2-1.
How quickly the tables they turn. AZG picking up a goal just as quickly and reducing the deficit to 1. Jerome getting the strong kickoff, steals the boost in the corner. Devour playing the pass through. Jerome faking the touch. Olympic not so much. Not able to capitalize on the possession here. Both teams a little bit skittish, but here we go. Appelstar shooting straight, and that's all you need. 3-1.
And I think it's a bit of open season here on Champions Field. Goals after goals going in. And unfortunately for AZG, they are mostly falling at the feet of Matrix. We've only just played over half of this game. And there is still plenty of time for AZG to get back in this one. Olympic wanting to get one back immediately again, trying to answer quickly. Not going to happen. Galaxy big block onto Jerome's clearance as well. And he prevents Jerome from getting any boost. That could be huge, but Devour's clearance is going to do enough for AZG to recalibrate and recover.
Appelsauce taking the 50 into the corner. Ravi not getting the touch he wanted, but gets the clear out. Galaxy getting through, speeding through to the orange line, and AZG are defending where they need to be, attacking. Appelsauce dispossessing. Devour playing it up against the backboard, but still not out of there yet. Jerome getting the touch as we're heading down into the last quarter of the game. And Olympic taking the 50 after 50, but it is still all one-way traffic from this WRG team.
Yeah, it is. Still Jerome gets on the ball, but gets stuffed by Ravi. Ravi, quick reset. Devour does enough to still send the ball away. Galaxy now going up to meet that one. Jerome moving back to make the defensive play. Applesauce doesn't really take a shot, plays it off that top corner instead. Ravi now has the opportunity to find a ball in the midfield. Olympic sends it away, but Ravi keeps the play alive. Off that backboard, Jerome takes it away from his bonnet. Applesauce getting a bump onto Olympic. Olympic still making the play, but it might not be enough. Ravi takes a shot. Good save by Devour. WRG are proving to be a very, very strong team in the final moments of this series. But all it takes is one for White Rabbit Gaming to get back into it.
All it takes is one, and they're going to need one pretty soon if they're wanting to, as Galaxy fakes in the first. Applesauce playing it back into the orange side. Will seek to keep it. Galaxy going to meet this. Olympic gets dunked. Devour playing it to the corner, but with no boost, there is no attack. Slowly making their way upfield. There's a bump. Jerome getting the 50. There's another demo. Ravioli demoing Olympic this time, and it's still in the air. We're heading down to the last 20, and it is still up for contest. 15 seconds now. Olympic playing it down. Galaxy trying to get it out. Applesauce off the wall. Devour playing it there. Olympic not being able to get the touch in. Still passes it through. It's up against the backboard. There needs to be a shot, and there is. It goes wide, and WRG have done enough.
They certainly have. Doesn't matter what happens now. There might be an extra goal. Devour maybe with a couple of bragging rights for his team, but that's going to be all, as they do fall in Game 5 on Champions Field. What a way to lose a play-in, man. And that's before the playoffs have even started, Bromeo. What a series. What a game. That was breathless from start to finish.
Wow, I'd show you stats, but people left the lobby very quickly, so we will have none of that, but that doesn't matter. What we were is we were treated to a Champions Field experience in the first stanza of this evening, which means that no matter what happens here from now, Rhino, is that it can only get better. So what a treat it was. Well done to WRG on their victory. And Rhino, I'm sure there's some takeaways from that game, but right now, I bet you WRG are feeling great.
Oh, I see, it's funny. I actually don't think they are. I think right now the main thing that WRG are feeling is relief, because they were pushed so close in this game where they should have been the outright favorites. It went all the way down to the wire. That last minute was absolutely insane. Anything could have happened. They kept their cool. They were able to make sure the defense wasn't broken. But, I mean, I think we're going to be able to get Greybeard back in here, and he can discuss as well. Because for me, as I say, if I was a player on WRG right now, I would be just breathing so heavily and thankful that we were able to take home the win.
There was a problem with a player from Shadow, which was delaying the start on the B stream. And just before we went live, we were a bit panicked because we were concerned that the B stream would delay the A stream. But I guess we needn't have worried because a clean sweep from Ox Gaming over on the B stream secures them a death match against Deathcloud Esport. But as is the way with A stream, we go all the way. It went the full distance. And White Rabbit definitely the favorites, but they, as you've just pointed out, Rhino, made hard work of it. But you know what? They maybe after that they go into the semi-final and cruise through because they kind of locked in and they've got things figured out. Because it did look like they were taking a while to figure things out.
Yeah, it really did. It was a really strange game from that perspective because I really felt like at times WRG looks like the weaker team, not weaker individuals, the weaker team. Their communication, their chemistry seemed a little bit off, a lot of double commits, a lot of problems that we wouldn't expect from a team of this caliber. They very much seem to be playing for themselves, but certainly in that game 5, we saw that almost completely eradicated. We saw some fantastic team play from them, nice passing, nice control, and even more so than that, really, really good defending. So I think you're absolutely right in what you say. It feels like WRG are locked in now, ready for the rest of this evening.
And then I'm not sure what happened over on I don't know if you were, I didn't really keep tabs on the other game and to see what happened, but a clean sweep for Ox. And given the rosters, it feels like it shouldn't have been a sweep. It should have been closer. And on paper, was Shadow ahead of Ox, or were Ox in 4th place? I'm just trying to just check
Shadow is up in 4th position.
Yes.
Ox was in 5th.
Yes.
And there was nothing separating those two sides. 22 game wins for Shadow, 21 game wins for Ox. And just having a look here, straight down the middle of the table, and 4 wins apiece. There was nothing separating them. So to see that they took out that game in a 3-0 fashion, testament must go to Vilibius, and they will be happy to take their place into the semis up against Deathcloud. So I don't know what to expect from these games anymore, because Azura Gaming came very close to repeating the act of their Prospect brothers just a couple days ago, and sending themselves into the semis from a 6th seed. So they came close to doing that, not close enough to unseat this WRG team. But I feel like WRG's got a lot of work ahead of them if they want to take down a very strong-looking Cosmico.
Do we know if I know Casper was having internet issues, and that was the delay on that series getting started. Do we know if Casper played in that series in the end?
I think I saw him play.
Okay.
I think I saw his nameplate, yeah.
Okay. Well, it does mean that WRG, who just been through a 5-game thriller here, now go forward to meet Supernova, Cosmico's Supernova, Jeff, Technic Eagle, Blade, Varate. And based on what you saw in this series, Rhino, up against that roster, where do your feelings lie in terms of that semi-final on the B stream?
Well, I can tell you just quickly, it's already started. They're getting things motoring over on the B stream. They are not hanging around. Goodness gracious. But listen, you look at the names on Matrix's side, right? You look at Ravi, Galaxy, Applesauce. I really like that team. I genuinely believe they can beat anybody here in Master Tier. But there's a storyline throughout this week of Cosmico getting to every single grand final, and I just get the feeling it doesn't stop here in Master. I just get that vibe.
I have a question right now, and I don't know if you can answer it. Bromeo, you can answer it for SSA, but in EU, I don't know if there's, well, listen, to be fair, EU's got a lot more tiers, but I don't know if there's ever been an org that's sort of appeared in 4 grand finals, and in the long history of EU, and it's unfair for me to put you on the spot with that, but I don't know if you're aware of anything of that nature.
It's worth asking. So the main difference between RSC SSA and RSC EU is you have to remember that obviously over in EU, not only do we have 6 tiers instead of 4, we also have the fact that every tier has 20 teams rather than 10.
Yeah.
So it's almost impossible for a single organization to go through and play in even multiple grand finals in a week. Now, we did have it recently in this season with one of the teams that we had, and I'm just going to try and find it now for you. But, you know, they were an absolutely incredible franchise. They did fantastic work in EU. It is going to be the team of Illusory. And they had an outrageous run in the in playoffs. I think they got to 2 grand finals. And I think that's the best that we've had in recent memory.
Just we've got to do some digging into that, because I'm going to say, like, wait a second, Bucko. It hasn't been 20 teams the entire history of RSC, and I think that there must be something deep in the history books into the ledgers, and I know that the European counterparts are astute record keepers, so we will be no doubt able to
nerds,
find
get on it.
Information.
They will know. They will know.
And then, Bromeo, it's a first for us, though, right?
I'm almost certain for it. Yeah. I'm almost certain for it. We've had a couple of, teams making it sort of there and thereabouts. I know Critical Force made 2 grand finals. I think they made one of them. I know Monarch has taken 2 trophies, but I don't think that they were all the way through in all of them. And I think that there was a bro season where they did pretty well as well. But I also don't think it was all the way through to the grand finals. I think a couple of those teams stumbled when it came through to the grand finals. So, GB, I think we are witnessing history here. Will their egos ever live it down? We don't know. But for our sake, I hope it's a contest.
All right, well, gentlemen, I'm going to say goodbye to the 2 of you. Great job, well done, because we're going to our next series and we'll get new casters in, so we'll see you about, boys. Don't go too far. You're going to be needed again soon, no doubt. And there we have it. Play-ins are done, and Shadow are out, and Azura are out. Ox Gaming go forward, as do White Rabbit Gaming. The semi-final we're going to be having right here on the A stream is going to be Deathcloud Esport against Ox Gaming, coming in from the play-ins. And 2 banger rosters on Deathcloud, T-Shao, Friction, Heatsy, going up against Ox Gaming, Tweaks, Max, Serenity. Big players, big teams, and our casters for that series, we'll welcome them in now. Sir Pegasus and Ultrism. Gentlemen, how are ya? Ultrism, you're back. Are you? His camera's frozen. Is he here?
Oh no! Ultrism.
In that case, we'll come to you, Sir Pegasus. Welcome back.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to be here as I wait patiently for Ultrism to return to the scene here. It's the semi-finals. I'm so excited, especially because, I mean, typically with a mainstream for these playoff stages, we're flip-flopping between the sides of the brackets, but because of how long that quarter-final actually took, we had the opportunity to see how that matchup could unfold and how good these teams are looking heading into this part of a bracket, and there he is, poor Ultrism. We have unfortunately lost him for the time being. But Graben, I'm curious about your thoughts about these two rosters, because you've got that youthful side of Tempest with those two reunion players as well. But then you've got Wildebeest and myself and Ultraism, who I promise you was here just a minute ago. We were talking in the green room. We're talking about players like the likes of Serenity, who have been in the scene for a few years now. And I've certainly said that every time I watch him play, he's a completely different player for the good.
And of course, the mid-season LAN winner, Serenity, and Max, young player. I think he's 15, maybe 16, but a young player. He's been working really hard at his game. And then Tweaks, we were expecting to have a breakout season this year. It didn't quite happen for him, but he's going to be joining. I believe he's joining. I think he's joining T-Shao. In fact, he is. So they will be teammates. Tweaks up against T-Shao tonight in this matchup, but they'll be teammates in RLCS. So on paper, as you look at the names, you go, okay, Deathcloud would probably be the favorite, but then you think about it a bit and you go, oh, I don't think so. I mean, Deathcloud done very well in league play, but we have seen what the top of the table in league, what's happened to them in semi-finals. It's no guarantee of anything so big as this.
Absolutely not. And we can't underestimate these play-ins teams whatsoever, because every single playoff stage we've had so far, there has been someone from that sixth place position which has fought their way up around their area outside of the top two in the grand final. So who's to say it will not happen yet again on the mainstream? And like you said, with Serenity, who has had such success in recent times, and Tweaks as well, being that player who you said is waiting for his breakout moment, what irony would it be to do it against his new teammates?
Well, I want to throw some attention. Oh, hold on. Is that a wild Ultraism has appeared? I'm not sure if he's mic'd up yet.
I'm here.
He's here completely, in voice, in face. Welcome, Ultraism.
I was so excited just as we go live, everything done. I dove and grabbed my spare camera. I am here for this. I was here Monday. I was here Tuesday. We saw so many long series, and now I get to see the pinnacle. And these are good players, man. I was watching beforehand. I don't have time for my ramble anymore, but this is a good matchup.
Well, I wanted to cast our attention quickly to the other side on the B stream. That series already underway. Cosmico looking to make a fourth successive grand final. But I don't know. Do you think the community has put a bit too much weight on them, Ultraism? Because now they were just going to go and chill, but now it's like, now you must make a fourth grand final for Cosmico.
This is the problem with success, right? Is the more you do, the more people want. And now they've already done it how many times this week? It's been all 3 weeks, all 3 nights, right? Now they have to. Now they're expected to do it again. The fact that you're just top 6, I mean top 4, in fact, is not good enough. Let's go all the way. But it is what we all want. I kind of really want to have the Cosmico Deathcloud matchup that we have been seeing over and over. It's the rivalry of the year.
Oh my goodness, hold on a second. I've just gotten hot off the press from Bromeo. WRG 7-2 against Cosmico. They won the game 1 7-2. So holy moly. we might. Okay, so clearly at the moment Cosmico buckling under the weight of expectation, but this is a best of 7, so a way to go. All right, well, very quickly, let's talk about the series we're about to play. Ultraism, I'll start with you. So Pegasus and I were talking at some length about the rosters and who might be the favorite and so on. Deathcloud finishing second on the log, but what's your feeling with them taking on Ox Gaming coming up from the play-ins?
I watched that B-Stream play-in game, and Wildebeest looked strong at that stage. We've seen Serenity since the school leagues. It's been a couple of years. A really nice veteran that's good at the back. Max and Tweaks were playing such a nice 1-2 position in the front line, and they play aggressive, closing down every opportunity and going so confidently into challenges. Watch those two. On the other side, it's a run of names that we've seen time and time again. Friction, Tashao, Heatsy. I mean, all 3 of these guys have RLCS experience, if I'm not mistaken. Tashao Teshao
yes.
being the youngest one to ever get there. So, I mean, if ever there was a team that we were expecting to win or go top of the table, it was these guys. Wildebeest could be an interesting dark horse, though.
All right, well, gentlemen, I believe players are in the lobby itching to get going. So I'm going to hand it over to you to bring us the semi-final. This for a spot in the grand final. So Pegasus, Ultrazim, over to you guys.
Potential is, well, for a rematch in that grand finals of the Elite Playoffs if both Ox Gaming and Cosmico were able to progress to grands. Of course, Ox Gaming being that organisation that is yet to win a trophy in RSC SSA across all their seasons. But it's been a bad start for Cosmico on the other side of the bracket. And in week 7, we've actually already seen this semi-final matchup. And it was a 4-0 sweep in the favor of DeathCloud.
History tells a story. Rankings the last 9 weeks, it tells a story. But I mean, on Monday night in the Prospect Division, it kind of was all shaken when we had our 6th place systematically destroy position number 3, number 2, and then take the first seed out of the group stages to a game number 7. That's how my week started, Sir Pegasus. So when it comes to RSC, all of the numbers go out the window and it's who rocks up on the night. Wildebeest is here. They're warmed up and they're playing a great game already. I always worry about the team coming off the bench. I don't know how much that sways you.
That is a factor, I believe. You talk about people that believe in fatigue, some believe in momentum when it comes to these first round buys or those pauses in those double elimination brackets. I've always been on the side that I feel like having that momentum is actually more valuable to a team than, you know, having to play a series and they'll get tired. These guys already play like 4-6 hours a day. I don't think they're going to be all too concerned that they've added another best of 7 to the mix.
Oh no, half an hour of Rocket League. That's literally the training packs that most of these guys are doing. But it's exciting. I don't know. How do you feel about the more experienced players in the Friction, the Teshao, the Heatsy? I mean, they've done well this whole season. Is this just a game of consistency at this stage? We've done it before. We're going to keep doing it again and again. And if so, by how much?
I mean, it's consistency in the RSC season, but it's consistency in the RLCS and just Rocket League in wider terms as well. It takes a fair bit of bravery to try and predict against this DeathCloud side, even with that emphatic performance we saw in the quarterfinals by Ox Gaming. Yet, like you said, this is the playoff stages. Me and Greybeard were talking about our wonderful Stellenbosch land that we had halfway during the season, where Serenity, alongside the man, the myth, the legend, King Dominus Rex, was able to take that trophy home. So you can talk about consistency, you can talk about history, but there are players on the rise here for Ox Gaming that are looking to tip those scales. Of course, Tweaks and Serenity, definitely those top 2 names for that fashion.
I love what you say. It's the rising stars, the future of Rocket League, challenging these old established players. I love it. Guys, we are ready. 7 games up for grabs. Best of 7. First game starts now. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of feeling DeathCloud needs to come into this as just the warm-up, as just whatever happens, they've got to get a read on Wildebeest, who's coming in nice and warm. Game number 1 starts right now, 5 minutes.
Heats takes it off the ceiling, and you want to talk about instant impact. The first goal in the first 30 seconds would certainly do that job, but Serenity already tested between his sticks. That ball's boomed on forward. Heats has to send it high. And you want to talk about rising stars, this would be the time to do it! With those rules added in the RLCS as well, this is the season of SSA. This is the season for those locals to make their mark. Serenity, though, not going to be able to stamp himself into this game quite yet.
Maybe that's why the youth doesn't have, a third attempt, and this one actually going to go in. It's taken multiple chances, and the vigor of youth is nothing against the experience and the accuracy, those basics that have been trained for years. But when you get the chance over and over, I don't know what was happening on that DeathCloud backline, but there was no structure for too long.
I love that when we speak about this experience, it talks about the likes of Teshao as well, who has just had 1 real season in the mix, is the youngest player, but that's what you would call an old head on young shoulders already, showing off that maturity in his gameplay. And we're going to have to see that little bit of leadership take charge here, as they already do start off with that deficit. And Wildebeest look to continue their charge for the quarterfinals. Shot on, and that is well placed by Serenity.
I told you, this Wildebeest side is coming in aggressive. Any ball that's loose like this, someone's going to be challenging forward, even willing to risk the third man if they need to. But especially when Serenity just left in the open, in the center, puts on a banging shot. And I mean, you're testing the goalkeeper at that stage. You're saying, are you aware of what's going on and can you react perfectly, get that pressure building? And sometimes it just works off the bat. So 2 goals the better. And it's taken barely a minute.
And of course, on the stream so far, we have seen that best of 5 format that extends to a best of 7 from the semis and onwards. So no matter the result of this first game, as much as you do want to establish yourself, you want to get that head start, deathcloud do have plenty of time to respond, but that doesn't just stretch across the series. That's in this game as well. 3 minutes 20 to go. You don't want to call off this team too early.
No, of course not. That's what I was saying. Game number 1 needs to be the chance for them to calibrate well against their opposition. These guys are known to adapt. They've got the experience. They've seen all the tricks 100 times before. They just need to know what they're looking at. You can see them starting to come together. They've had a good season thus far. They're certainly not going to lose their temperament now, I'm sure, just 2 goals down. Second minute, though, ticks over. Some nice passing play starting to erupt out of this deathcloud esports side.
They're still looking to try and find that forward progress. It's been rather horizontal along those lines, but stuck in their own half as Wildebeest have done well to clamp them down into their own third when those opportunities present themselves. That's why Tempest have to take those opportunities when they can. They've been able to hold this attack for quite some time now, slowly looking to work it into that inside space, but another compliment for Wildebeest here. So good at siphoning to those corners, and it's felt like moments of safety even out of possession.
Yep. They're putting in challenge after challenge before the ball gets into a dangerous position, so the 1 or 2 saves that are gaspy at the end are the only dramatic parts of a systematic dismantling, and at that stage, deathcloud didn't have that much more. Instead, on the other side, wow, so fast off the bat, they get around to the other side, feed the ball once or twice in front of the net, force out the defenders into bad positions, and then the final shot, Tweaks getting on the board for the first time, and we're up by 3 now.
And that's the difference between these two teams so far. As soon as Ox Gaming get a sniff of that final third, they are so quick at putting that ball towards that central space. That's the real danger area. That's where they have all that freedom of choice, whether they want to send it to the left, to the right, high or low. The defense has to be prepared. They're not prepared in this occasion. 4-0 Wildebeest. Throw your predictions out the window.
You know what? That's a bit of manufactured luck there. Max did a great job, and I said he goes for these confident, wild challenges. I don't think he was expecting to get the pinch across the length of the field, but he was doing some good, solid defensive work. So we're going to give that 3.5 goals so far up to the better here. But it's all that's needed right now. Wildebeest is coming forward with a pace that is catching their opposition off guard consistently, and it seems to have been what they were finding such great success with in the play-in.
I'm not sure if Tempest were able to grab a scrim or how much practice time they got before this semi-finals, but my goodness, this is back and forth. Serenity had a chance on net, and that main second man is demoed off for play, but once more, a ball just outside that box forces full concentration from all 3 Tempest players, but Friction shows off his quality, gets it done alone, and that allows his teammates to have that higher amount of boost in the tank. They can widen that play that little bit extra, and now they can pounce on these 50s as well as Wildebeest try to escape. But the vice is tightening for the first time in this series, but Serenity, cool, calm, composed, brings that ball forward.
Unfortunately, that vice's screw was a little bit stripped because it kind of tightened and released almost immediately. They had one look at the net and now just fighting for possession. It's a better position than being pushed against your own baseline, which has been the majority of this matchup. But yeah, there is at least some stirrings of life here from the deathcloud side. They're getting their looks towards the other side. Valiant attempts, but maybe this is just testament to how good Wildebeest's defense has been, like you said earlier.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's been an increase, of course, in the quantity of attacks we've seen from Tempest, but the quality of Wildebeests are still higher. Inside pass attempted by Tweaks. I appreciate the idea of that one, though. A little bit too heavy-handed. Serenity, ambitious, comes off the ceiling. Heats has to stop with 2 touches, but it's back in that danger area. They force their hand, and Tweaks gets the job done.
How? When the players set up with Serenity going for a phenomenal play. I am full respect. You're 4-0 up with 4 seconds to go. Put the montage clip in there, friend. And they still come away with a 5th goal on top of that. Clean sheets to boot. I mean, that's insult to injury. These first games of the semi-finals have been rather dramatic on both sides of the bracket, it seems.
Certainly, and when you look at that 5th goal, I feel like that is a testament to the confidence that Wildebeest have been able to play with. Because if you just took a screen grab seconds before that goal went in, that would be a nightmare for a coach to look at. But it's almost like they've got this Steph Curry effect. They make bad shots, bad attacks look good with all this confidence, the mechanics they have to offer, and the way that they're able to play their opponents out of book.
Yeah, Wildebeest is combining everything perfectly. You're going, when they slow it down, their mechanics are looking great. They've been looking for those more creative plays around the defense. And when their opponents are just caught off guard or the ball goes into a nice advantageous position, Wildebeest just pounces. They waste no time with frivolity. They're on that ball. They're taking a hard shot. They're placing it well. And if at the worst, forcing your defenders to commit lots of resources. So great control of the tempo by Wildebeest so far.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll have to see how Deathcloud will be able to respond looking forward, because they're not going to be a team that's going to take that lying down. They were able to get a sweep against Ox Gaming during that regular season. This is already an improvement compared to what we've seen before earlier in league play. So absolute statements out of that first game, and it'll be interesting to see if they will be silenced or if this Ox can continue shouting from amongst the rooftops.
I mean, they're coming in hungry, right? They have not got a trophy thus far, and they're one step away, basically, from that grand finals. It's a massive opportunity for them, and they've backed a really good team thus far. So, like you say, a statement. And once more, putting pay to the question of whether it's good to come off fresh or come in with a little bit of momentum. That momentum carried hard into the series. We'll have to see what happens in game number 2. Players are in the lobby, so we're going to be in that in just a second.
Oh my goodness.
Ready, right? Hey,
yeah, absolutely.
Is this about narrowing that gap, though, or eliminating it, turning it around, and kind of taking the series back into your hand for Tempest?
It's so tough to call, because I've seen games like this already in Elite and Rival in this playoffs, where we've seen first games. This especially would happen to Cosmico, so I don't know, maybe this is just a purple organization curse, that they'll have this first game where they completely throw you off pace. You think, oh, maybe they are going to be a bit more disappointing than what we initially expected, and out of the blue they start to step themselves up in the second game, and you wonder whether the colors have been flipped.
Oh, okay, this is some intention. Tweaks with a critical save at the last second there. 2 players committed from Deathcloud, but it was certainly the impactful starts to come out here for Deathcloud that we were looking for. They were here to put on the pressure from the first second. We've got a decent attempt now. Max, the last defender back, actually finds it across the field to a beautiful pass and turns the pressure on its head.
Back forward, though. Has to take this time in the corner. Friction will boom it forward. Heat has to bail away, and now it's just Tweaks with that drop down. Doesn't control himself well, though, on that sidewall, and it's going to be those extra little seconds here for Tempest to pick up that little bit of boost, prepare themselves for the defense as Tweaks takes it off that backboard once more. Serenity can't reach her, and now that counter-attack can flow once more. Tempest find it inside, but it's that well-positioned Tweaks again in defense to maintain survival.
Such creativity. This is what I mean. This Deathcloud side is still here and around, but Serenity snipes that. The ball just not cleared for half a second. Tweaks such a nice pass, and it was to Shao with the responsibility, the burden of getting that towards the side, and he can't. And one mistake is what it takes here for, again, the Wildebeest to start their stampede.
But this is what happens in the Master Division. You've got 2 teams that aim to be as close to perfection as possible. And when those gaps are shown, it's up to their opponents to stretch it open, make sure that they punish any single opportunity. Heat's inside, and it was open inside the 6-yard of a Tempest. Did not expect for that to be the case. They didn't step forward high enough, instead maintaining their own defensive lines. But is this where you start to play with a little bit more ambition than what we saw in that first game? Because they are behind yet again. And you don't want the repeat of that previous result, but this pinch comes forward, saved off that goal line.
Oh, Heatsy, fantastic. We've seen a couple of really nice clutch goal line saves, but it's like you say, at some stage you got to stop playing to lose, to not lose. You got to play to win, and finally they get themselves some freedom down the other side of the field. Not overthinking this at all. Comes off the great dispossession mid-air from Teshao, and Friction waiting in the center, gets up to it so quickly, beats the two defenders, and that's the breakaway that we're looking for, the quick little 1-2s.
They can live up to his name as well, cause a little bit of abrasion on the pitch, force Wildebeest to somewhat change their game plan. He's looking for that double tap, can't find the target. Teshao will take it off the corner, and that's well placed by Friction. I initially thought, but off the post, Teshao is able to recover himself. This is a lot more aggressive when we've seen before from Tempest. That Death Cloud storm is finally brewing.
Brewing, though, not hits, not yet. Yes, sir.
Absolutely not.
Let's be honest, the difference between how these goals are coming out, I'm still not happy with that because it took, 3 shots with pretty much any of them having the opportunity to go through. And again, it's Death Cloud unable to finish off what they're making happen. They're doing all the work. There's just not that clinical ending towards it. On the other side, Wildebeest, they're kind of taking more opportunities. They're forcing players out. This is an incredible dribble, and once more put aside.
Oh, but that strike from Teshao off the crossbar looked like it was going to be that extension. And this Hurricane goes from category 1 to 2, but still long away from the 5s that we saw during league play. Wildebeest been able to calm it temporarily, but Teshao off the ceiling brings it back down off that backboard. Well read there by Tweaks, and Serenity looks to play her out of his own half. That will come off the corner. Back inside there from Serenity, but Max on the follow. Make sure to take the opportunity of one small blip, one heavy touch, a few unreal units. This game is back to square.
Was out of the Death Cloud's reach for so long. Every one of those touches was necessary to come together. And that's the difference. The guys had 4 perfect touches from the Wildebeest side and scored the goal. On the other side, turned aside again. It goes chaotically in front, back and forth. Oh, Death Cloud. Right now, there's the rumblings of thunder right now, but no crack of lightning.
Back to Teshao once more. Doesn't get that first touch, but instead, I feel like that second play could have been better. Had that player in front of him that he wanted to try and offload that ball to. Was marked down well. Tweaks ceiling off and over. Serenity almost gets that redirect. Tweaks will get it this time. And if the B plan doesn't work, they've got plans all the way past E. Unbelievable how they find themselves in this recovery positions. So quick thinking, but when you've got those mechanics and you've got that heart and that communication as well, these miracles can be achieved with such consistency.
This is a team who's first and foremost looking to make a good touch for the greater good as opposed to for myself. Where, you know, none of those shots were on net because no one was getting greedy. They were going, I can't get a shot in, but I know my teammates are around, so I'm going to pop it up. And the rest of the squad has such an awareness of looking for each other, looking for the chaos. And like you say, there's got to be some insane communication going on there. Wildness braying out of the Oxes on their Discord. But they're there. They're playing with one mind, and it's working. It's linking together. They've got another chance now. Tweaks with the little dunk. 1 post, 2 posts, a flash, a dunk. Max puts up the second goal buffer. 37 seconds left. Suddenly Death Cloud starting to dissipate. That storm looming. But where is it?
If you're Tempest, you must believe that there are 2 Tweakses on the pitch. Because in what world is he positioned behind the last defender for his opponent? Shot on here from Max as well, who has been the main source of offensive efficiency from the roster. Tempest are playing a game of 3v3, but Wildebeest clearly have that 4th man.
Right? I told you, the front line, Max and Tweaks together, was so inspiring during that play in-game. I immediately took notice of these guys. And they're doing a great job. Like you say, Max is just the bull with the horns, right? Out of this Ox lineup, this is the guy charging through the China shop, creating chaos. And then Tweaks is everywhere. whether he's busy taking the shot or he's making his way back. Serenity as the security worst case scenario. It's great to watch these guys at work, and I cannot believe I haven't heard of Tweaks and Max in big competitions up until now.
Well, you will do very soon, especially with Tweaks teaming up with his opponent Tesha, who's looking a little bit worse for wear about that second game. He spoke about tightening the gap. They certainly did that altruism, but I'd be asking for them to tighten the gap if this was the result in game 1. 5-2 is still rather dominant. And I want to loop this back round to our pre-match warm-up where we were talking about these two teams. This is an upset of the highest proportion. 4-0 was their last matchup in the opposite direction that we see that it could potentially be in this semi-final. And this is our first seed as well, getting dismantled in dramatic fashion.
Dismantled is a good way to put it, right? Is their opponents are putting up some sort of shaky defense and you come through with a hammer and just knock it down like a pile of bricks or a sandcastle on the beach. It's a difference in levels right now, not just moments in this game. It's the clinical finishing versus the scattered around. And that's so frustrating. We're seeing these pro players, guys who have thousands of hours worth of experience by now. It's just a little rusty on the controller, it feels right now. They're playing with a different preset or something. That's all it is. So we do have a timeout. That's a really nice point. And I think that couldn't have come at a better time for Deathcloud.
Neither do I. I do not like, I've said it so many times before, when teams call a timeout when they've got match point faced against them. I'd still want that first game. So 2-0. Yeah, that's about when I'd be calling it. In fact, if I was at Ox Gaming as well, if the next result was 2-1, I would have asked for them to call it as well. So this is about that time in the series where you would expect that to be the case. But I really want to talk about Wildebeest and their general jerry-rigging of the offense and the defense that we've seen so far of Deathcloud, because it's got this strange balance between almost feeling clumsy but surgical. It's a mix of both. It's pure chaos Rocket League, but still the positioning makes sense. But no coach would ever ask a team to play like this.
I need the board with the game plan drawn out on that, please. I need a heat map or something to see the random squiggles, because you're 100% right. They're putting the wild in Wildebeest. But there's nothing to it. But it's just watching like a swarm of ants that all know what they're doing, but no, it doesn't make sense to anyone else. They're playing aggressively. They're committing a third man higher than most teams would feel comfortable, and then getting away with it because somehow there's two more players behind them. It's fun. It's fun if nothing else, but not what I would have seen a coach trying to drill into a team. Let's say that much.
And there's been so much confidence to be outnumbered by their opponents. They, of course, outnumber in offense when all three of them just decide that defense doesn't matter as long as the ball finds the opponent's back of the net. Then you reset to kickoff and you're a very happy team. But in defense, we just randomly see Tweaks behind the final offensive player on the other team. So there's a 2v3 left in defense, but the defense has been so strong and they've done so well at getting themselves out of that danger area into these corners that they fancy the position enough that they feel like that's worth the third man alone, and they can send someone else forward for these redirects, which has consistently caught Deathcloud off. And how could you possibly blame them? I've never ever seen a team play like this. Successfully, by the way. Successfully.
I've seen lots of people try stuff like this. It's not as effective. It's not as pretty. But I love what you say. It's like the redirect and consistently. Those two words came nearly one after the other. So I'm going to link them together. I know that wasn't your point. But we're seeing stuff like the little psychos from midfields. And the guys are going for it. I've only seen it 2 or 3 times coming out of the Wildebeest. And it's hit 2 or 3 times right now. So it's really nice. Even if it's not that, montage-worthy redirect into the back of the net, they're just going, no, I'm just going to keep this out of your reach. We're going to play a little one-touch hot potato Rocket League, which is a unique style, but an effective one for these guys.
And of course, they haven't been able to turn around this series so far, deathcloud, but a team that has is Cosmico on the other side of the bracket, currently leading 3-1 of the series score after what was a disastrous game 1 against them. But didn't I literally say this earlier, Ultraism, that this was exactly what they were doing in the Elite Division?
This is what you expect out of the pro teams. They just click their neck a couple of times, anime villain or anime hero back into their second form or third form, and then 3-1 is a massive turnaround. I feel like that is still potentially possible in our matchup, but 2-0 down is not a great position to be in. 2 decisive victories down. If deathcloud's going to do something like this, turning it back to 2-all is the first step. We're not even looking for them to take the series, wrench it away from their opponents just yet. Just even it out would be great.
Certainly, and there's been a bit of time between games as well, which I would say does fall in the favour of deathcloud, that desperately need a reset, but of course this is a pause for their opponents as well, so potentially a little bit of a dampener to the momentum that Wildebeest have been able to maintain. They didn't have much time between Series 1 and Series 2 today, but you know what? Take what I just said, put it on mute, throw it out the window. Wildebeest already having a shot on targets.
Oh, but the guy just shook his head slightly there, got rid of all of that dampness that you were worried about, and is now fresh and clean and straight out of the shower. I love it. Max already into an aggressive position. Cuts this one off, actually makes a miss there, but Serenity covers once more and buys a lot of time, dragging it through the air, kind of forcing deathcloud back onto their side of the field. And once more, playing from their heels is deathcloud.
Has 2 players right in front. Teschau is somewhat fooled by his own teammate. Max wants to try and take it forward alone, and that was a slow bouncer, and I didn't even want to put any emphasis behind it because surely Tempest were going to easily clear that out, but they made that look a lot more difficult than it initially may seem. That's a wonderful beat there from Max. Just has to get 2 touches into the infield, and Serenity is lurking. Didn't even need to jump. Didn't need to let go of the accelerator. Perfectly placed, and that's goal 1.
Oh, Serenity, you could not have been gifted something better than that. Max, I mean, I don't know about you, Sir Pegasus. I've tried that more than a couple times in games, and I don't think I've ever placed it so nicely towards the center. That was really a tee-off shot, a base level training back shot for Serenity by the end of it. And, I mean, it's again that aggression, that counter-attack capabilities that the Wildebeest are coming out with, and it's up to deathcloud once more to chase another lead. Okay.
This is the time to do.
They're showing off. They're going to score whatever sides. That is one of the best goals of the season. But on the wrong side, if you guys weren't paying attention to this.
We've got an amazing media team over here in RSC SSA. You know, if someone could just do a little bit of color correction, I'm sure that could still make a clip of a season. We put it in the trailer for the next RSC SSA season, and people are going to think, wow, everyone's incredible. They're scoring double taps from this angle. But we'll know, Ultraism. We will know.
Well, no, I kind of want to put it in just like that because it looks so amazing. People aren't going to pay attention to the color. And then on their fourth one, you're going to be like, hang on, wait. Something's different. But into this game, it gives the equalizer, I guess we can call it, towards deathcloud. They didn't earn it, but they'll take it. And, I mean, psychologically, that's going to put a smile on the face of a team who's been suffering. And the second attempt, third attempt, often takes more than one here for the Tempest squad. They do have good positioning for it.
And that was a really well-worked offense from Tempest. It's just that the defense was simply there to match. It was a well-reacted catch. Serenity required once more. Tips it off to that corner again. Has Teschau on friction deep in front. Makes sure not to concede that ball towards them. Mags takes it alone. So low on boost, but able to squeeze out that extra touch. It's caused a lot more of a panicky clearance here from Tempest. Teschau alone on his own lines into the corner where Tweaks is already waiting for him. Heats was challenged as well. Max is already recovered on the rotation. The defense has formed themselves behind the ball, and it's these quick recoveries as well that allow Wildebeest to play so risky and so high, but it's still that very rickety scoreline where Tempest just need one opportunity to change the course of a game.
Okay, one opportunity. You can either wait for it to present itself or you can wrench it from the other side of the field. Air drag over Friction. I think that was a little flip reset and corner of a car to help it along its way into the upper 90. Heats came through blisteringly fast and still couldn't get to that. What a counter attack. Now the question is, Tempest, are you going to manufacture yourselves? Heats is trying, but doesn't look the same.
That was an unbelievable strike from Tweaks. And in all fairness, I did not believe in it whatsoever. So little boost in the tank. Had a player challenging, and then he used his flip preset to not only send it over his man, but to bump them as well. This has been a show-stopping performance from Tweaks so far. You spoke about players that are ones to watch for in the upcoming season. We thought it would be this one just gone, but even if he was a little bit of a late growth spurter here, still a fantastic performance I want to see him build up upon, and I feel like an RSC SSA championship would certainly pair well with that, though still got more work to be done, only halfway of the way there.
That's what RSC is all about, finding new shining stars to make their pro debut, and so a lot of people have earned themselves fans. I know one new fan for Tweaks and Max, at least from today's action. We'll see if they can close it out. A minute left on the board, and Deathcloud feeling like this is do or die time. If they can bring this game back, especially off the good graces of their opponents, that'll give them a chance in the series. Otherwise, an entire reverse sweep looms, and they're facing some defensive work. And this is the other thing about what Wildebeest do. When they come in the attack, they drain everything from your side of the field. So when you do finally get the counterattack, you've got nothing to do it with.
Max pops it over, had 0 boost. Friction had to burn the last he had as well to get that touch, and it feels like that is equal all across the pitch. So expect for these two players. Tweaks and Serenity had that little bit of resources to keep that ball flowing. This is an important chance here for Tempest. They've only got 5 seconds to equal up the score. It's essentially a goal drought for them. The only goal in their favour was given for free by Wildebeest. They just cannot get a foot in this series, and as quick as a flash, look like they could be sent home.
That is incredible, actually. I mean, we thought this was going to be a tight series, that Tempest was looking strong at the beginning, but Wildebeest was a valiant challenger for them. And now it's just looking like a clean day at the office here for the Oxide. It's an incredible reversal of expectations for this series, and it's putting on a fantastic performance. And again, it feels like the Tempest team is so close. They're there. They're making the opportunities. You want them to do one step more, but they're just half a step behind. They're playing defense from kickoff, and Wildebeest is just smiling, waving, and doing what's needing to be done. One goal on this side is still enough to take them to game point.
And you're seeing that last game especially, and if you took little snippet moments from that game and gave it to someone that had not watched the entirety of it, you would have expected that to be a bit more of a closer affair. And sure, you see that final scoreline is only a 1-goal difference, but those that were here understand that that probably should not have been the case. But this is what happens when two teams that do have that layer of consistency clash. And I will say that the consistency certainly has increased from Deathcloud as this series has gone on. But Wildebeest just have these moments where Tweaks just decides he's going to take it from his own third, dribble the entirety of the pitch, and that is going to be the game winner. Or Serenity and Max want that perfectly flown pass to string together, and that's it. Tempest are on the back foot again. I haven't seen those same game-changing moments from Tempest yet in this series, which is unusual when you see the talent that's on the pitch. Though inside pass, a fake from Teshao. This is a bit more what we're calling for. And forced in with Heats. Goal 1 for Tempest. The first lead in quite some time when all the fire was against them. The series as well starts to heat up.
That must feel incredible. And you talk about those game-changing moments as Max goes sailing past, as Teshao beats the first man. That was a game-changing moment, it felt like. And then he holds it dead on the line. We talked about good setups, and apparently Tempest showing that they can do it just as well off the back of our young star. They Great way now. For the first time, it is going to be Deathcloud taking the early lead. And for once, we see Wildebeest. How well can you challenge back? How well can you chase down a lead? And how long will it take if you do?
And there's potential, of course, for this series to reach its conclusion if Wildebeest are able to take it away, similarly to what we saw in the other semi-finals. Cosmico do take that series, and the opportunity for an Ox Gaming versus Cosmico Grand Final from Elite to repeat itself here in the Master Division is certainly possible. But Tempest, with that goal back now, everything could change with a quick flash.
And looking better, looking more aggressive and getting in their opponent's face. There's not the same space to work with and maneuver the ball around. If you're half a second late to the ball, it's too late against this Wildebeest side. So they've cut down that. And I mean, look at that. Heat's jumping across the field, second man into the air, just to go for that challenge, that 50. But it is Tempest regaining the possession, and Friction taking to the sky. Max assassinated! Oh, you saw him coming from off screen there. Friction slow playing it. He knows he's got one to beat and brings in Heat's blistering bullets and a different look to Deathcloud.
And I like that attack had that double padlock as well. I'm not sure if you noticed, Friction had already bailed away from the ball to go for a bump himself. So if his teammate didn't land, he certainly would have. He lands once again. 2 shots, 2 goals, 100% efficiency. Where was this for the rest of the series? Who cares? They stepped up now.
Set up, the carry, the finish coming across the goals, every part of that was Deathcloud working together, and suddenly the lights have switched on and the machine is starting to whir. Early challenge again from Heats. The taste for blood has been found in this, and trying to cover every angle. It's going to be a reply coming quickly from Tweaks, and may put paid to the onslaught for a second from Tempest, but certainly the game still firmly in their control.
What on earth was that goal in the first place? Coming off the ceiling of it, he just lands on the floor, decides to reverse to keep on going. Wildebeest, give me goals that I have simply never seen before in all my times casting Rocket League. They could pull off a miracle as well in this 4th game. If they do pull off that 3-goal comeback, then what more questions can be asked about this roster? They would have pulled off everything that you possibly could do in a series of Rocket League. This is the one area where they have not been tested. Fighting back from behind. That's why I spoke about that early game being so vital for Tempest to pick up pace. But Wildebeest now delaying, faking, mind gaming, and Max will be the late Cobra Strike.
Look at this bailout from Serenity. He had full commitment to that and makes a show of it worthy of a Broadway stage. Sets it up, knows it, and this is what I mean by playing with one mind. When you look like you're just limbs of the same creature, that is Rocket League being played by a team. Wildebeest does a great job there, but he's back to within 1. Again, this time Tempest now. The Beast has been poked, and they're looking to take this back. Suddenly this game is a lot more tenuous affair with still 2 minutes to go. But what a series of Rocket League we're getting treated to.
Absolutely. Max sends that ball long. And that Hydra looks to connect once more. Serenity just outside that box, pounces in, Tweaks. Knows not to challenge too early. That break tap, though, could have caused issues, but a bump does open up that little bit of space inside. Instead, Friction is forced to boom that ball right back when they could have taken that control and moved forward. The physicality off the ball certainly having its effect on the gameplay, and as a result, that attack continues once more. Tempest aren't out the woods yet. It comes crashing down here in the corner. Tweaks somehow gets to that ball first, and Tesha with low boost and a teammate being forced to recover just has to buy time with that heavy touch. Friction still has nothing, has to play for that low 50. He does well to take space forward, but now it's Tweaks with a high tank and a wall dashes as well to take possession.
Soft touches, composure being shown here by both sides, and looking for each other constantly. This one a little bit too hard and out of the reach of the waiting member, and Serenity picks it up, backed up by Max. Ball reinforced quickly. Serenity once more to action, sends it low, sends it wide. The Tweaks did not want to jump into that, understanding that if they give up another goal, they are out of this. So playing a more defensive third man, trying to build it up once more from baseline. He's got Serenity with Max in tow, carries it over Friction. Max is up on the jump off the backbound. It's a Shao with a good confident collection, but not out of danger. Final 30 seconds.
And it feels like a goal is assured for Wildebeest in the next minute. But like you said, unfortunately, they only have 20 seconds to do so. This is a fight for survival in the 15 seconds, not just from elimination from the tournament. It's this game as well. Back inside, 10 seconds remaining, and Serenity finds the recovery.
We said a goal looked preordained in the next minutes, and they just squeak in under the wire to make sure it comes in the first half. 8 seconds left, and then again, the light is running, and while Tempest is doing a great job, they certainly haven't put down the pace. This is a new level gear shift from the Wildebeest. They're full charge, and we're gonna take the deciding match to an overtime.
You couldn't write this script any better. Especially when you know the tales of the organization so far in these RSC playoffs. Demos come out early in the kickoff, and this could get a rather quick finish. It's a demo, and one final goal from Tweaks. One final cherry pick in those high positions, and that perfectly describes what the nature has been for this full series. Wildebeest are your second grand finalists.
That has me in shock. What's just happened in that? I saw in the Twitch chat earlier, a comment came out, gotta give them early hope. Don't know what the context, don't know which side it was, but I mean 3-0 up, Tempest. You had the game. You had your lifeline back in, clear as day. And then Wildebeest in a minute? Chip, slice, little poke here. 8 seconds left, go to overtime, clean it up within 20 seconds. What a devastating end to the series, to the run, to the entire tournament here for Deathcloud.
That team look like they are impossible to match with the kind of form that they have found themselves in so far. But I also know a man that's pretty impossible to match as well, and I'm very curious for his opinions about that series. Greybeard, what on earth have we just witnessed?
Well, what we've witnessed is Tempest losing their second series this entire season. And it happens in the semifinals. Ultrazim, you said it at the beginning. Who shows up on the day? And my goodness, it feels like Ox Gaming have shown up on the day. What a performance. I mean, the fifth seed versus the first seed, the number one team. Out of nine league play series, they had 7 wins, just a single draw and a single loss, where Wildebeest won 4, drew 3, lost 2. So on paper was fully behind Deathcloud, but it looks like rock and scissors fully behind Wildebeest. Great performance, and what an upset. I mean, it's a 4-0 sweep, Sir Pegasus, but it doesn't. It felt closer than that. It felt more exciting than that because of the upset nature of it.
Yeah, it certainly did, because usually we see these 4-0 sweeps. I feel like if it went in the other direction, we saw that exact same level of gameplay, there wouldn't be this much excitement behind it. But it was the confidence that a team came out with. This is them pushing themselves up to an upper echelon that we have not seen so far this season from 3 players who we've had glimmers of hope from as well in the past, but also have not reached the level of those 3 names that we've seen on that opposing team as well. Everything about that was completely flipped upside down, and that could potentially be the best sweep of the RSC playoffs in SSA. I'm going to give it that title.
It's a weird way to put it, but I think you got it. And I mean, I love how it happened as well, because the beginning of the series, I came in. I mean, I've seen these guys for the first time in the play-ins. Then they come into the first game, put on one hell of a show. I'm going, okay, great. They got a consistency against all the teams. Game number 2 comes up. I start lording over these guys, hyping them up, and there's still that little bit of insecurity, being like, hold yourself in check a little bit. There's still a good chance for the turnaround, first game jitters, whatever. And then the series continued. Then we got to see the turnaround, what should have been the settling of the series, 3-goal lead. And gone. Everything crumbles. Wildebeest put on the greatest sweep, like you say, that I've ever seen.
Now the tragedy, and there is tragedy in this. Serenity, who won the mid-season LAN and who's now making it into the grand final of the RSC Season 4, has effectively retired from RLCS. I think he will still play, but he's not chasing it hard. He might just have like a bit of a fun team and see what they can do. And he's been around a long time and I think never got the sort of success in RLCS that he would have liked. But it feels like, I don't know, is it because he's like, you know what, I'm not going to be too overly competitive about it, that he's now playing with more freedom? But it feels like he's coming to his own and he's like, okay, peace out, I'm gone.
You know, I've always liked Serenity in more of the defense role in terms of any team dynamic that he's working on. Hell, if he's going to take a casual team into RLCS, I'm still excited to see it. Maybe these guys, if the other plans don't work out, if you guys need a third, Serenity, put it in there because they look like they're having fun. They look like they're playing little, you used the term on Tuesday, like Brazilian style of football, right? They're the little tiki-takas, the little 1-2 passes, and that is a person who's not taking the game too seriously and gripping the controller as hard as they can. That's a person who's lying back and laughing with friends.
So in closing on Wildebeest, I will say this about Serenity, is that I think there's probably a role for him as the sort of mentor stabilizer in a team, because the team he won with at the mid-season LAN is they had young King Dominus Rex, who's I think Champ 1, Champ 2 thereabouts, and another sort of mid-tier player, and he was the senior player, and he did a magnificent role of sort of just making them enjoy themselves and be able to play their game. So perhaps a role for him there. But in other news, Cosmico find themselves in a fourth consecutive RSC Grand Final. After going 7-2 down in game number 1, they won 4 on the trot to take it. So Pegasus, early jitters, but they got the job done and did it fairly emphatically.
First of all, I have spent a few seasons in management myself over in the RSC EU side. I've followed RSC for quite some time, and this is easily the most successful organization I've ever seen in a single given season. How you can top franchise standings, how you can already assure yourself 2 championships, and a 100% grand finals appearance rate, I've just simply never seen before. But here's the thing about Cosmico in this grand finals. If we talk about RSC SSA, we talk about the entire branding, the culture we have here, this lovely graffiti art style that we've got going throughout all of our overlays. It's about protest. It's about stepping up to the man, the status quo. And I've not seen a team that has personified that greater this season than Wildebeest so far in playoffs. They had absolutely no right to take that last series. If you looked at the talent on either side of the pitch, if you looked at their league play performances and the experience as well that was spread across those 2 rosters, yet they did it in emphatic fashion in a way that was not regular Rocket League, not what you would call for. And as well, this is that revenge story in that grand finals of Ox versus Cosmico, where it was somewhat thrown away there by Ox and Elite. It was a heartbreak for an organization that hasn't gotten a trophy so far in SSA. If there was a team to go that full distance and take down this clear favorite Cosmico master roster and be the pinnacle of everything that RSC SSA stands for me, it's Ox Gaming. They have my vote, and I don't think they're scared.
All right, so Pegasus is emphatic in his support there. Fantastic stuff. And so Pegasus, thank you very much for your support throughout the season of RSC Season 4. It's been fabulous. This will be the last time we'll see you for this season, but no doubt we will not get rid of you despite our best efforts in our future seasons. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. And Ultrazim, you will be back with us for the grand final in a moment, but we need to turn our attention now to that grand final. So thank you, guys. See you in a moment. And we come to that time, the final series of the final day of playoffs in RSC Season 4. It's all going to be ending very, very shortly. One more game, and that game is Cosmico in their 4th consecutive grand final, as we've said. But then the upstart, the troublemaker, the rebels of Wildebeest looking to unseat them. And you know what? There's been a fabulous storyline of Cosmico's success. They already will have the title of out-and-out best franchise of the season. But maybe in the final story, there will be room for an underdog story, and perhaps we will see that in the grand final with Cosmico and Wildebeest. And that grand final is going to be cast and brought to you by, once again, Ultrazim, and welcoming back Rhino.
Good evening, gents. What a semi-final, eh? What happened there? I was going away. I was making myself some dinner. All of a sudden, I come back. Game's done. I thought I had a break, but no. I mean, it's been an incredible night of Masters so far, and obviously we couldn't leave the RSC SSA season without one more Cosmico Grand Final, could we?
Well, you know, it does. So there's a number of storylines going on here. We got a great potential storyline in the underdog of Wildebeest. We got the storyline of Cosmico just sailing high, 3 consecutive grand finals, potentially 3 champions across 3 tiers. But there is also the other sort of sub-storyline of no grand final has featured the 1st and 2nd seed of league play. And Ultrazim, I mean, that just, for me, highlights the brutality of league play followed by a playoffs, because you can have 9 glorious weeks and then Deathcloud Esport, if they played the series again tomorrow, may well beat Wildebeest. But they didn't do it today when it really mattered.
One day. That's it. Do it on this day or don't do it at all, kind of thing. It is harsh, like you say, because it has been an incredible run of form for them. But that's what every competition is like, right? Is how well do you have that big match temperament nailed down? There's nerves, there's being on stream, there's all of this stuff, and that's what makes someone great. Is that all that focus comes to a pinnacle that it crystallizes on stream for when it counts. You know, you got 15, 25 minutes worth of work to do. You've prepared your whole life for this.
Yeah. Do it when it counts. All right, gentlemen, I think we need to get this underway. As excited as we are, we got to get the players going. So, Ultrazim, Rhino, go and bring us another grand final.
Oh, don't you worry, Greybeard. We've saved the best for last. We have the 2 big dogs of Master Tier, and in the end, one of them is a Wildebeest as Ox Gaming make their way through into the grand final to play against the dying star Cosmico's Supernova. Nothing dying about their star though, Ultrazim. They are exceptional and deserve to be here.
The Dying Stars versus the Rising Stars. An interesting scoreline that we're going to have going on right now, and I like it. Wildebeest have shown that they can weather the tempest. Now, unfortunately, a little bit more heat coming their way here in the grand finals. And I mean, this is definitely the matchup that I'm most excited for. And I also have no idea what to expect because there was such a big disparity between Wildebeest and Deathcloud in that semifinals. I'm going, okay, you beat second by a margin. Is that still enough to go to number 1?
And that's the question we're going to have to ask ourselves. That's the question that's going to be answered on the field in front of us tonight. Ultrazim, the joys of the grand finals. And it was mentioned a moment ago, we've got so many storylines running through this grand final, and it's kind of our job here on the desk to talk through those storylines. But I want to mention the fact that we've actually got a play-in team coming right the way through. Of course, that this is not the first time this has happened this week. But when it happens in Master, I don't know. I just sit up a little bit more because I'm a bit like, oh, that's probably not supposed to happen. How have they got there? And Ox taking out two of the big franchises, certainly from an RSC perspective in Shadow and Deathcloud, to get through to this grand final. And they've looked so good doing it. Like they've just looked like the better team in every game they played.
Yeah, like you say, it's not the first time this week. I mean, from the beginning of the week, I was there on Prospects and we had a 6th position take that challenge all the way through, doing upset after upset, 3rd place down, 2nd place down, but not with the same style, like you say.
No.
It wasn't the same convincing wins. It was kind of drudging your way up the side of a mountain, it felt like, and then standing so close to the pinnacle. Right now, it's the Wildebeest have walked their way. They've got themselves a chauffeur to the finales. It's just a very interesting difference between the journeys to the top. Has my camera gone again? Oh, you kidding
me? Yes,
it
certainly has. Yeah, as you're replaced by a radar, as
I literally
both
didn't
teams
touch
are going to look to
anything.
calibrate their radars very quickly as we move into this game number 1, because it will be a big deciding factor of how this series goes. Is this game number 1, Ultras, and we talk about it so keenly because it really does set the tempo for everything happening. But the time for talk is over. It's time to play some Rocket League in the Master Tier. It's the final game of the season. Get everyone in here. Get loud in chat because Ox Gaming Wildebeest are taking on Cosmico Supernova for all the marbles.
That ever pivotal first game, like you say. Some people just use it as we can shake it off, it doesn't matter. Cosmico would certainly like to forget about their first game of the semifinals just before this. But it is a long journey ahead, lots of Rocket League to play, and both teams wanting to come out with that bit of impetus, show what they have. We just got to see Serenity, Max, and Tweaks showcasing from the Wildebeest. On the B stream, they were showcasing a pretty nice, decisive victory of their own. Was Jeff, Technic, and Blade. Again, names that we've seen in the scene for so long. But what are they going to do when they're presented with these brand new threats?
Absolutely, and here's Technic with an opportunity! The first goal of the grand final goes to Supernova, and Jeff causing problems in this corner got the better of Max, and Tweaks was just a millisecond, a hair behind the on-rushing Technic, and that's gonna give Cosmico the 1-0 lead.
Oh, Tweak's going to be kicking themselves. They had the pace, but just decided to take a slightly more greedy line and got beaten to the punch unexpectedly. And two of them going up. Neither gets to it. Serenity thanks them for the easiest goal coming through. They're chipping it up just to threaten the back line. And I think Blade and Technic both thought the other person had it covered better. It seemed like a pretty calculated dismissal of it halfway through.
I understand that we're spamming, team support in chat right now. I want to see a spam of question marks in chat right now, because what's happening there in a grand final of Master? That should never, ever happen. And deservedly, Wildebeest, they take advantage of the absolutely horrific mistake from Supernova in their back line. So we're all level now. Tweaks moving down the line, reset, maybe a nicer goal to boot, not going to happen. Max trying to finish, Technic flies across his goal line. It's all systems go from the start of this one.
Again, this flurry of blows, each one looking lethal coming out of the Wildebeest side. This time their opponent's got up to the task. Tweaks has to make a desperate save. Nice dismissal there by Serenity to just send that towards the side a little bit more defensively, and Max up to that task when it's asked of him. Blade, though, he's got some backup. Technic coming with pace from the other side. Reads it a bit too high and dealt with summarily by the defenders here of the Wildebeest side anyway. So back and forth possession. Poking, prodding is this Supernova side, but not coming to any decent shots just yet.
A couple of double commits on that play as well coming through from the side of Supernova, which is going to cause them some trouble moving forwards in the series if they keep going. Jeff will try and get this one to Technic. Not a lot of boost to work with, so Max easily pushes it over into his back corner. Tweaks misreads it. Going to open up the door for Jeff. Backboard, Blade at the back post. Oh, beautiful! That is spectacular finishing from Blade. Had a lot to do. The ball was dropping really nicely for him, but still had to make sure that he found a way past Serenity. Did so beautifully, and Supernova lead again.
Oh, that was such a nice bit. They recognized the chink in the armor of that play in the corner, where it should have been cleared a little bit earlier, but the miss came out, and that's still not a terrible position when you're sitting in your own corner. So what does Supernova do? They manufacture something. They wrench it from the corner, put it across the goal, find the smallest angle, and get themselves a goal back. Nearly suffer a second one. Oh, Jeff. So thankfully stable at home there. It is going to be the 1-goal lead retained here for Supernova, but hard fought thus far.
Certainly is. Ball into the middle. Blade now looking for the pass back to Technic. Those passing plays have served them so well all throughout the evening. It's not going to happen for them this time. As Max now moves down the left side. Blade with the interception. Serenity wants to just give Tweaks the best shot he possibly can, but it's blocked away by Cosmico once more. Tweaks off that left side. Has Serenity waiting? No, Jeff takes charge. Booms it downfield. Max has enough boost to put it up in the corner, but Technic steals the ball. Looking for Blade once more. Those two starting to be a real problem in the offensive half for the side of Cosmico, but the counter-attack is here. Tweaks looks for his teammate. Technic steals it. He's got an empty net to aim at. He does finish the job. Daylight between these two sides. It's 3-1.
Oh, this little pop back, and these are rare mistakes that we did not see out of Wildebeest in the previous two series. I don't know if it's fatigue kicking in, or maybe it's just the pressure of that grand finals that's weighing on them, but it's not the same clinicality that we saw previously, and it is Supernova taking full advantage of that. There's something to be said for the way that they're able to grab this with such assertion and be able to create these opportunities. 2 to the better, just over a minute to go.
Yeah, and Blade getting that clearance away. Technic down the left side, looking to just get contact, just try and hit the ball. Not going to happen. Blade AFKing on the 100 boost on this side, but he's going to do enough to get across back into the play nicely. And you mentioned a really good point there, actually, Altruism, about fatigue and about the fact that obviously Ox Gaming have had to play one more series than their opposition here. Now, it was, from memory, a sweep. It was a 3-0 sweep in that play-in game. Either way, still, they are going to be feeling it. They've been playing for a little while now. That's an opportunity pushed away. Jeff trying to capitalize, and maybe Technic going to try and take charge, going to try and make the best of this rather ropey-looking Wildebeest defense, but they can't find another goal yet.
Decent attempt at the counter-attack that has been pivotal for this side of the Wildebeest, but right now I don't know if they're too worried about what's going to happen on the other side of the field when they have work to do at home. Tweaks nearly pushes it back, another one towards the center. Max barely keeps it up, and certainly not the same composure that we've seen from this side. On the other side, Supernova looking sanguine by comparison as this ball finds its way back off Blade once more, just getting in the way and pulling it towards the center. Backed up by Jeff. And 4-1 is a decisive victory that suddenly put paid to all the momentum. I mean, that was 7 games on the trot for Wildebeest coming into this.
Yeah, it certainly was. And, well, now the Beast bleeds, and Jeff not happy with 4-1. He wants to extend it out. He wants to pad those stats, I should say. And there you go. Top left corner, postage stamp, upper 90. It's Supernova who end up walking away with a relatively convincing Game 1 win.
Yeah. I mean, considering most of that game was within a goal, I was feeling the tension in this matchup. And then at the end of it, it just dwindled. It came to nothing. Yeah. It was like those anxieties that the day breaks and sun comes out and you're going, oh, never mind. We can trust in the Supernova. It's not exploding today. I mean, but when you add the shot tallies together, it tells the story. I mean, it was Wildebeest 6 equaled out by Technic on his own. And then you add another 7 on top of that for Supernova. So a differentiator of how much pressure was applied and by whom.
And that's a really good point that you talk about the shots, because I wanted to mention it as well. Over double as a team, Supernova got the number of shots against Wildebeest. So that's really interesting. I have to say, 13 shots to 6 is pretty much going to be a death sentence for any team who's rocking that lower shot tally, unless your defense is absolutely outrageous, unless your Team Falcons out there, right, who just fly across their goal line and make saves out of nowhere. That's not happening here in this particular game, and Cosmico are just taking advantage more so of the way that they play this game, the way that they're taking try again. They're taking advantage of the opportunities given to them by Ox, and that's where we end up, a 5-1 victory.
And you talk about how important that strong defense is if a team is going to bring that much pressure against you. We haven't seen that from Wildebeest. They've kind of been jumping all over the place. The clears haven't been confident. Previously, they were starting to link up and thinking 4 steps ahead. We go into game number 2, though, and see if this is enough to stagger the Wildebeest, or whether they've lost the weakest members of the herd, and it has not. Blade comes through once more, slices into the Wildebeest side and draws a first blood.
Yeah, they certainly do. And Blade able to send that one into the top right-hand corner. And that's going to be 1-0 inside the first 9 seconds here on Utopia. And maybe, just maybe, the Wildebeest is starting to run out of steam, run out of energy. As Cosmico, they've got their number right now. I mean, remember last time as well, I believe it was the one goal that Ox Gaming scored. Supernova actually scored it for them. It was an own goal, if I remember rightly. So there's a lot of work to do in the attack for Wildebeest.
There is, like you say, they've got work to do in the offense, and it starts from their side of the field. You know, we were kind of chatting about it in the semifinals. What Ox was doing is their pressure was so good and so consistent that by the time their opponents got control of the ball and had a chance for a counterattack, there was no boost for anyone and no position to try and get some. So, I mean, right now, same sort of coercion happening on the side. This time, Ox being the victors, or the victims of it, I should say. And a really good control once more. It's high and quick. Supernova. The Cosmico is here and hereabouts and here to stay, and until they find that goal.
Yeah, certainly. And I do just need to check in with production, because I don't want to make this claim without it being backed up. I believe this could be the 3rd title for Cosmico this week. They won on Monday. Seem to remember them winning yesterday. I could be wrong with that. I will need to check, but it's all about yesterday. If they won yesterday, then either way, minimum of 2 titles in 1 week potentially for Cosmico, which is so impressive for this organization, who have been outrageous throughout the entire season. Jeff going over the top, looking for another one, gets bumped off the Blade. Blade falling in, looking for the bottom right corner. It's 2.
You hear that clang, and it's going to go one of 2 ways. If it's dealt with, then it's heartbreaking. But when no one goes for it afterwards, Blade and the precision of the placement afterwards has been perfect, living up to that name so well. And yeah, we did have confirmation from production. It would be Cosmico's 3rd title, so already cleaned up half of our league so far. 75% looks a hell of a lot better and sets a bar for other organizations. These guys just know how to pick good Rocket League players, it seems, but still work to do. A lot of Rocket League yet up for grabs here if Wildebeest want to try to turn this back into their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact of the matter is, it just, you know, it's never going to be beat. 4 grand finals, all 4 grand finals by one organization, and 3 of them you take home the trophy. You would literally have to have the perfect season as an org in order to change that from the history books. And I don't see it happening anytime soon. Maybe Cosmico want to do it again in RSCS Season 5. Who knows? But the fact is, it's so incredible. Credit to everybody who works for Cosmico. But we're not done yet. We are not done yet here in this grand final. There is still time for it to be fixed. But if Cosmico keep running plays like that, that shows me they're confident. That shows me they trust each other. And that shows me that right now they are championship material. Blade looking to get another one. 2 minutes left, 3-0.
Blade picks up the hat trick off the back of this. Again, his technique just creating the space. Such a good player. And then across the goals, baits out Serenity to try and dive into the near post. It was the right play as a defender, but you're just praying at that stage, and Blade does not roll dice, it seems. This is 3rd goal up here. You talk about how much this would mean to Cosmico and being able to take that near-perfect season, but I mean, on the other side, if I'm sure of one thing, Ox is not giving up. They haven't gotten themselves a title, and this is as close as they could ever want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to keep pushing. Keep pushing, Tweaks. Oh, I can't believe that one just goes above the bar. Serenity going to try and recover it, but I think it's fair to say Serenity is the most third man of third mans I've ever seen in RSC. Max is going to be able to score. He will convert. There is a way back here. 1 minute 24 is plenty of time for 2 goals. Technic, a loose touch. Max takes advantage. Maybe, just maybe, there's a game 2 here.
Yep, I like that. That clang off the crossbar, I said it's going to go one of 2 ways. This time it chose Heartbreak and allayed quickly there as Max, again, keeping up that pressure. He's able to nag and worry people constantly with these close, confident challenges. So great way for them back into this, at least towards a possibility. They've still got a minute left, so very much within the realms of hope here for the side. But Wildebeest have work to do, and it worked hard for 1 goal. 2 more is not going to be easy, and first they got to make sure that that doesn't become 3.
The post is being a 4th man for both of these teams. It can't decide its allegiance right now. Denying both Ox and Cosmico. Ball out in the corner, 45 seconds. They need, realistically, a goal soon so that they don't have to score a kickoff goal in order to tie it, but the pressure being applied here by Cosmico is astronomical. They're going to keep that up as well. Serenity moving down from the left side. Jeff intercepting. Technic to send away. And with 30 seconds to go, Ult, this is looking less and less likely.
Oh yeah, now it starts to become a pipe dream, a wish from a genie, a miracle, divine intervention with every second that ticks down. And right now, certainly a closer finish and a more competitive game, I feel. But not on the right side just yet are the Wildebeest. On the other side, Cosmico, they could not be happier. There is no way, Ryder, there's no way we get the drama like this. If there ever was a team, it would be the Wildebeest, but 4 seconds?
Oh, Jeff. Oh, Jeff. I mean, I think that one was going in anyway, so we'll not chalk that one up to an own goal. That was just nice from Max, but the kickoff goal is maybe going to happen. Sweeps down the right-hand side, got to keep the ball up. Does! Now Serenity wants the bump, and he just can't get to Technic in time. But I tell you something, Serenity so close to making that play work. Just needed the bump on the goalkeeper that didn't come. Supernova take the win, and it's so weird. Whereas game number 1, it felt super close until the final moments where Supernova ran away with it. Game 2, we took the script and we flipped it. It felt so one-sided for Supernova until the final minute or so of gameplay.
Yeah, it just narrowed from there. I mean, when the dying seconds as 2 players inches away from your back line, that is not a comfortable position threatening overtime. So Supernova happy that they're 2-0 up in the series, but it does feel like there's a little bit of a rumbling in the status quo right now. I don't know if this is a time for Wildebeest to take their timeouts. I mean, we normally say it's not great to leave it for when you're 3-0 down, but I feel like they are confident enough in their capabilities to know what they need to do.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I do think for me personally, I would still prefer them to take it because, I mean, we've talked about it before, right? You and Pigus has talked about, you talked about it before in the semi-final where if you do leave it until that last minute, if you are facing match point and you've got to win 4 on the trot in order to save your season, that's not a nice position to be in. 2-0 down isn't a nice position to be in either, don't get me wrong, but it's not do or die. Whereas if this game goes wrong, then it is simply win or go home. And I tell you what, Jeff is going to get us off to an absolute blinder of a start. Supernova have not been called off, no timeout called. Could be the wrong call.
Yep, that's the thing, is the timeout buff is there because it does break the momentum of your opponents, and I can argue that they felt confident enough, that Wildebeest, in breaking their opponent's confidence in the last couple of moments. But I mean, confidence is now, again, sky high, straight away back into it. Another big dunk comes out from Jeff and forced into the hands of Tweaks. Very quiet game from these players that relied so much on the mechanical skill in the semi-finals and play-ins. Now, haven't seen any breakaway plays, really.
No, we certainly haven't. There might be one. No, Jeff not quite measuring the pass perfectly. And now Tweak sending it away. Serenity chasing down Jeff, wanting the bump, not getting it. And now the counter again. Blade goes over the top backboard. Jeff! Oh, it's beautiful. He reads it better than anybody else on the field. No one from Ox Gaming can get a hand up. And Jeff finishes into, I mean, there's 2 defenders there, but neither of them are jumping especially high. It seems like it's going to be an empty net 2-0.
Not a snowball's chance in hell is the phrasing that comes to mind right now, because that was perfectly read. Like you say, you could have 18 defenders there all pre-jumping and that ball is still going in with that angle and pace. That was brilliantly well done, and it means Supernova, I mean, you could not want a better start than that, but maybe we spoke too soon, of course. Go back the other way. Wildebeest, never say die.
And that's one of the most important mentalities you can have in Rocket League, that never say die attitude. You don't know when you're beaten, because you are not beaten in Rocket League until those 0 seconds hit. And that's exactly the mindset that Ox Gaming are bringing forth. Max gonna have another opportunity at this. Serenity also getting involved. The shot not especially powerful, and it will fade away over to the right side. Jeff taking it down the left wing. Will put the ball into the middle. Technic rising, no boost really to speak of. Blade just lurking at that back post, ready to pounce at any moment. And there he is, into Jeff, looking for the drop down. Serenity adjusts beautifully with the squishy save. And it remains 2-1 until Tweaks decides that he wants another goal, even if it is in the wrong end.
That's the thing, a single amazing save rarely makes a highlight reel unless it gets punished immediately afterwards, like that afterwards. It takes more than one moment of brilliance from the inside there of Serenity. They still can't get the ball out. There's no clearance, and therefore no abating this Tempest of a new kind, shall we say, in the finals here, in the form of the Galactic Supernova. And they got a breakaway again. Technic with an open goal adds a bit of pace and flair to it to put it home. And momentum, timeouts, call it what you will, whatever strategies you need. Wildebeest have to get something to come back into this. They still got 3 minutes, but Rhino, I don't know.
I can't lie. To me, it looks like that goal was shot out of a cannon from Technic, but it only got 103 kph. I was expecting higher than that. But either way, it is the goal that really puts pay to any dreams of Ox Gaming trying to get back into it. Tweaks wants to bring them back, though. Get us streaming again. Blade sends it over into the corner, and Technic does send it away. It's scrappy defending from Cosmico, but it's effective. Wow.
Honestly, this is what it felt like to watch the Wildebeest side from earlier. And it's beautiful. Rocket League again. Technic just faking out the high play and getting the read on the bounce. That's a beautiful shot. Again, defenders rendered helpless in that situation. We talked about the Wildebeest side being able to take a step up. I don't know if this is just the default here of Cosmico, or if they have taken a step up before they even came into the series.
I can't lie. I'm looking around at all three players on this Cosmico side. Like, okay, Jeff, I know for a fact, has got an RLCS team. He's definitely playing on Cosmico for the coming season, and I'm quite excited for that roster, seeing him play like this, and thinking about Technic and Blade. Have they got homes yet? I'm not sure I've seen it as of right now, but they're putting on.
I've seen Technic, little illusions. Please, no one quote me on that one. I haven't heard anything about Blade, but Technic, I think, has found someone, and deservedly so, right? He was an RLCS 2025 contender, as his little tag so wonderfully presents, and I love that. You flex that tag. You worked hard to get it.
Absolutely. Technic gonna look for another opportunity. Gonna fake that one out, leave it for Blade. Jeff has an opportunity, and it's just shot after shot. It's barrage after barrage of shots from the side of Cosmico. 5-1, and they still want more. I don't want to put my sunglasses on. I don't want to go on a holiday in the grand finals of a Master Tier, but I will if I have to. 6-1, one more goal, and we're going to Brazil.
A day of sweeps approaches right now. I mean, first game that I saw of this Wildebeest side, they got a sweep for themselves. Second game, comfortably to 4-0, and now they're yet to be able to pick up a game, and yet to be within spitting distance of one, in fact, it seems. Is, like you say, Brazil, a rare treat if we do get to see one. And I mean, look at the way Technic is positioning himself on the wall. Blade casually slowing down to pick up the 100. This is confidence exuded bar none here for Supernova.
Yeah, it certainly is. Tweaks gonna send it away. Takes the dribble, looks for the shot, and I tell you what, both teams are now incredibly incentivized to score, even more so than they already have been. Jeff might be able to get the job done, and he certainly does. And an all expenses paid trip for everybody in the lobby. Off of the company card from Cosmico, we head to South America. And I'll tell you what, Altruism, I don't think I ever expected to see in the grand finals, certainly of Master Tier and RSC, a Brazil.
No. Not when we looked at the two teams that we were matching up for, the God Killers themselves, the Thunderbringers. And then on the other side, they just swat them aside like a minor nuisance, it seems. 7-1 is the most decisive victory we've had of the day, and Supernova making this look so easy. We still got a game to go, Rhino. That's the scary thing. I mean, we're saying this like it's a done and dusted matter of fact, but technically, Wildebeest do have a way back into the series?
Yeah. Yeah.
Confidence,
I mean,
yes, I agree.
Look, the reason that we're talking like this, Altruism, right? And the thing that people need to understand, it's not, you know, we're not biased casters. We're not saying this because we're on Cosmico's payroll. The whole reason that this is happening is because, realistically, Ox Gaming haven't shown us any reason to believe any other way. This is an Ox Gaming that have played so well throughout the night. I'm not going to dispute that. But here in this grand final, outside of game 2, they really haven't shown us the look that we were expecting to see from them. And this ball still isn't touching the ground. It's 0 seconds, boys. Get it on the ground. We want to go to South America already. There we go. Brazil locked in. And Altruism, where on earth do Wildebeest go from here?
Ironically, backwards. Go back to whatever you were doing in the semifinals. And I do feel there was a certain pace that they had at that stage. They were beating their opponents the ball every time and then getting the slightest little touches off that half a second delay to kind of put someone out of position. That was the entire mentality. I don't know if it's just that Supernova is playing at such a high pace that Wildebeest can't get away with that luxury consistently, or if it's a case of Wildebeest have slowed down. Either way, come up with something new. Make slower, more decisive, longer passes. Go for dribbles. We've seen each of these players have that in the arsenal, but the outpacing your opponents, it's not working. Supernova are in full control.
They are, and they are so much quicker around the field. There's no doubt about that. And this is something that Wildebeest have not gone up against so far tonight, is a team that's faster than them. They've been so used to getting to that ball first, being able to make the play first, having all the boost in the tank to be able to make something happen. But this game, Supernova, they are taking every single piece of boost around the map. They are doing everything right. And that makes it really difficult. Now, finally, a timeout has been taken. We do have a moment to breathe and, you know, a moment to enjoy Brazil as well. But we will be back very, very soon. And I just don't know what Serenity is going to be saying to his team. In my head, it's going to be, as you say, let's go back to basics. Let's do the stuff we were doing in the semifinals. But surely they've been having that conversation before now. You know, you've got time in between games anyway to have that conversation. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
2 minutes is not a long time to convince your teammates, though, to fully trust in each other again, because that's what it's going to take. That's what was working for them so well. These tiny little taps, back passes to each other, finding a way sideways, no greedy play whatsoever. And that relies on a level of trust. And for three guys, this is the nature of RSC. 3 guys who have not trained together, have not chosen to be in the same team and committed to working as a unit. These guys have a tall ask on them, and this is where the maturity. Of course, every one of these players has years of experience behind them, and right now it feels like the competitive experience of Supernova, that RLCS for basically everyone on your team, has taught these guys how to hold it together when everything's on the line in those 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be tough. It really is going to be tough. Now, it's worth mentioning as well, because I feel like we haven't really spoken about this. The good thing about RSC SSA, well, you know, you can see it either way, but certainly a very positive thing is that every team plays every other team in their tier before finals. So we have something to talk about. And it was in week 3 that these two teams last matched up. That scoreline was 3-1 to Supernova. Now, that means that for all intents and purposes, the Ox Gaming must get one game. They must get this next game, and then we can figure out that then it's new territory. Then it's Uncharted. Then we don't know what happens from there. But we are getting players back in. Is this going to be the last game of the entire RSC SSA Season 4 season Ultraism? It's down to Cosmico to make that a reality. Jeff looking for an early goal, not going to find it.
Cosmico could clean it out right here and right now and get the greatest season they could have ever dreamed for. Or they could do a little bit more work as the sunlight starts to set here, it seems, on Wildebeest. Did they bring their torches? Are we going late into the night? Yet to be seen. Game number 4, like you say, match points, the most important statement here that Wildebeest need to be worried about.
Already some worrying signs for Wildebeest. It's as they really try to sit back and defend. Oh, Serenity taking matters into his own hands. Gets past one, won't get past Technic. Once again, early challenge, pressed heavily. This is something that Ox aren't doing, but Cosmico are doing so incredibly well. Cutting them off at the pass and making sure they don't really get too many shots on goal. Cosmico continue on their excellent form. It doesn't look like they've been iced out barely at all.
Defense begins and sometimes ends at the halfway line. If you're just stopping the ball from getting anywhere near shooting percentage and you're consistently keeping up your rotation, your backline is covered, and then you just press that a little bit further. It's exactly what Supernova's been doing. They've had pressure on their line for a while, finally break apart, and ball just denied by the outside post there. Technic still with control. Lofts it up to Jeff, who's going to collect it. Not a lot of boost to work with, and had to slow down. Tweaks along the distance. It's denied. Serenity won't be there. Oh, a deserved goal there. Tweaks up so quickly off that backboard, and heartbreaking that he brought 2 defenders into it. Maybe even a little beneficial because either of them could have played and saved that second shot. But the goal is up. Wildebeest is on the board.
And it's what you asked them to do, Ultraism. You have to say, maybe another one, Blade able to make the save, but those sharp counterattacks is something that Ox haven't really been bringing in to this grand final. There is one. Tweaks up so early, able to get there. Is it going to all be for naught? Blade takes another shot. Tweaks makes a double save. And it's going to be Ox to try and build again, but Cosmico, once again, cut them off at the pass. Make sure it's difficult to get out of their half. Technic turning on this ball. Oh my goodness, just slightly bounces over Jeff. He couldn't recover in time. Technic moving around the side. Jeff looking for the bump. It might be enough. It is. Blade finishes into the empty net. It's 1-1.
Oh, we've so often used that analogy of the noose, but that really did feel like a strangulation over time after time. There was no boost, no pads to take a breather from. Everything was sapped, and I was keeping an eye on those boost counters for a while, and they were drained dry. Basic little pads time and time again, and Supernova was unrelenting. It was fantastic. A little counter-attack opportunity, and Jeff puts in a second. The entire demeanor of this match flipped.
Max, plenty of boost, but no read. Like a reception English classroom. Nothing to be read here. Just picture books, and that's it. 2-1 as 2.5 minutes starts to tick down. Ox Gaming started so strongly. Well, they at least took the lead. I do have to say that was after a lot of Cosmico pressure, but they have since started to let that pressure tell, and Cosmico back in the lead as they have been so accustomed to being this series Max taken out. And yeah, I think that metaphor is going to continue about the strangulation.
Finally, a little bit of breathing room comes out here, and it's been Wildebeest in the ascendancy for a while now. Oh, beaten twice by Jeff. Finds into the corner. Blade, he gets a little helping way, but a second one afterwards is Technic. If you take out my one guy, you got to have eyes on the back of your head, because this was such a nice defensive play. Blade had that with all the space, and Max given a hope, a desperate plea, but not forthcoming. 3-1.
That is an absolute bullet ricocheting off the crossbar. Nothing the defense can do about that one. Max does send it across. Serenity pops the ball high. Technic pushes the ball to that right-hand side where Jeff is waiting, and these passing plays from Cosmico, so good they actually hit each other, as it turns out. Technic moving into the right side, looking to bring it through. Max gonna try and intercept. Tweaks gets an extra touch there. Serenity trying to play it through. Not gonna happen. Blade pushes it in the corner. Jeff, big ping away, and now it's Technic up the other end. Backboard, looking for the pass. Jeff will finish the job. I don't want to put the glasses on again, Ultraism. I don't want to do it.
I hope this shows Jeff being a bully to Max there at the beginning of this play. Max was in a great position. He was there doing the defensive work. He had that next ball read, but he just goes, no, just move over. This is my parking space. You can see the sign there. And what a difference. Right now, it feels like these two teams are speaking the same language in terms of the creativity of their plays, what they're going for, what they're trying to achieve. But right now, it's Supernova speaking it fluently, whereas Wildebeest are stumbling tourists right now who they know what they want to say, but it's not coming out exactly right. It's not connecting.
Yeah, like you've almost tried to say, which streets do I use in order to locate library over there, kind of thing. Like there's something wrong with it, right? They're not, yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, it's not working out for them very well. Luckily, it doesn't look like there's enough time to bring the Brazil through again. Cosmico will almost certainly want to try and prove me wrong, and here goes Technic trying exactly that, but it's not going to happen. 3 goals inside 20 seconds now. I get the feeling, Ultraism, your master tier champions for RSC SSA Season 4 have been decided.
Cosmico start celebrating. 3 out of the 4 leagues you take home, and a grand finals finish in the other. What a phenomenal series, and well played. Wildebeest, they played the least number of games possible out of their 3 series, but in the most heartbreaking way, without picking up barely a point against an indomitable side that has just led through the season for good reason, it seems.
Yeah, man.
Take that.
You know what? We do get to take a breath because it was such fast-paced gameplay, which is what we expect from Master Tier, right? That's what we love to see, but we don't expect to see it from only one team, which is kind of where we went in that grand final. Cosmico, absolutely rapid across the field. Ox lagging behind them a little bit heavy, arguably. So we're going to get Greybeard back in here, and he's going to talk us through exactly what he saw from the sidelines. Greybeard, Cosmico, do it again.
Clean up in the master aisle. It was sweep. Two good ones for Wildebeest, and then they got a bit of their own medicine. But my goodness gracious, Cosmico, what a champion team, champion franchise. 3 out of 4. What a dominating performance. Fantastic stuff. And you guys mentioned Technic, Blade, and Jeff. Technic and Blade been around a while. Technic still looking for an RLCS team. Blade, Breezy, and Heatsy have teamed up for RLCS. No doubt Technic will get picked up. So you've got 2 of the old guard in Technic and Blade with the new superstar in Jeff, who will be further representing Cosmico as we go forward. But what just fantastic to see. Great success. Ox fell short, but Max, Tweak, Serenity should be very proud of how far they went. They performed magnificently. So overall, just a wonderful. Well, the whole season's been fantastic, but Rhino, I mean, dominated by Cosmico. They are the big story this season.
It won't be beaten. It won't be beaten. And if it is, I will eat every single hat I own, which, if you know me, is about 60. All right. There's no way that every grand final got to 3 championships. No one is ever going to get the perfect season, surely.
I'm suddenly now really looking forward to season 5.
Yeah, there's going to be a big coup among the SSA teams to be like, right, we got to make this happen. But no, seriously, credit to everybody involved in the organization, right from the top down. Every player, every coach, every captain, you know, every admin, every general manager, they've all played their parts. Cosmico, SSA season 4 will be remembered as the Cosmico season.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. And I don't know, out of that series, as we come to a close here, gents, if what the standout was for you in terms of Supernova. I mean, they dropped just a single game the entire playoffs. They were imperious form. Ultrazim, going back to your earlier statement about showing up on the day, and Wildebeest definitely showed up in their play-in series in the semi-final, but they couldn't outshine the show up that Cosmico brought.
Yeah, I think it was a pace factor. They were way faster than their previous teams and then just stalled out now. I don't know. Like, there's reasons behind that. But yeah, showing up on the day is important. And when a team does, they look like they can't do a single thing wrong. When a team doesn't, 3 or 4 shots at a goal go awry, or the connections, the passes, the clears, they're not that crisp. And it was heartbreaking to see that coming out from Wildebeest in that finals, because I think if we had seen semifinals Wildebeest versus this Cosmico, we would still be playing those matches.
So is there a player of the grand final for either of you?
I don't know.
Wow.
Rhino?
I mean,
This is hard.
it's really tough.
Or you going to go for the easy safety net of they played well as a team?
I think they did. I think they did play well as a team. You know what? I personally am gonna shout out Blade. And the reason that I'm gonna shout out Blade as the man of that grand final is because he was the lowest CMV on the entire field. Not just in his team, on the field. And he did not look out of place. I don't think he misplaced a pass. I don't think he was involved in any of the own goals. I think Blade, for that Cosmico roster, had an outrageous series, and I think for me, just above Jeff and Technic, but
Wow.
millimeters.
Yep. He was kind of the finisher off of a lot of those goals, and he was so precise with that. His placement was constantly nice, low corners or a nice quick shot across the goal line. Technique was really good in terms of the feeding him. We saw a couple of nice little backboard passes or something, dropping it down in front of the net. Those are big, and Jeff had some booming clears consistently. And this is a new style of Rocket League that we're seeing with a lot of fluidity and quick pace very close together. But I would not be unhappy to see this become a more predominant form in SSA and in general. And that's why I say it's difficult to say one of them stood out, because Blade, I think, did score the most goals, but I can put money on Technic having the most assists in that sort of sphere.
Well, there are a lot of people who have performed spectacularly. Many of them have been on stream. Many were not. Many people doing a lot of hard work in the background to see success on the pitch. A lot of people in the background putting all of this together, making it all happen, and trying to thank everybody live at the end of a stream when we're all riding a little high is a fool's game. But as is tradition with RSC, there is going to be an awards night. That will be next Thursday. So in the usual stream slot at 7 o'clock, we're going to give all the awards, all the big plays, all the the high stat producing players, but then also the people that made things happen. Because honestly, this is the biggest esport league, the biggest community esport league on the entire continent of sub-Saharan Africa. And it isn't done by 1 or 2 people. There are a lot of people that bleed into it. And, to make a league with well over 250 players happen, it's been magnificent. And it's always a shock. And it comes as a shock, boys, does it not, when it's over? Because when you're in the thick of it, it feels like it's not going to end. You go from one moment to the next. But then we do come to the end. So I'd like a couple of closing words, starting with you, Rhino, then Alt, and then we shall wrap it up and we can all go and sleep peacefully.
Okay, well then I will try and keep it relatively short and sweet, but it's difficult to describe RSC SSA in a closing kind of statement. We I would argue this is the greatest grassroots Rocket League community, not just in SSA, but on the planet. This team that are behind the scenes, the people that we have working with us, they are top level talent in their respective fields, both from players right the way through to producers, right the way through to on-screen talent like Greybeard and Ultrism here. And you cannot ask for a better route into professional esports than when professional esports people invest their time and effort into a project. And that's exactly what we have here. And that's exactly why I'm so proud to represent RSC SSA and fly that flag whenever I get asked, whenever it comes up, because it means a lot, not just to me, not just the people that you see on the screen, but to so many people. This is a community where they spend so much time and so much energy, and to see the results on stream, to see the results in the results, it's really special. So thank you everybody for letting me be involved in RSC SSA, and I know all of you are going to be waiting patiently for season 5 because we're going to go bigger and better.
So touching. I love that, man. Like, I'm so happy to be here because, I mean, Greybeard, you know, I do Rocket League everywhere in South Africa. I'm down in the high school scene watching those guys coming up all the way up to the RLCS, and RSCS fitted in the perfect route in that middle for everyone. Whether you're playing casually, you just want to sign up and go play in Prospect with some friends or on your own, you've never played in a competitive game before, so you want to try in. We've got the youngsters joining in here, or the old names that have been around for a long time. Everyone having a hell of a good time. And the fact that we're seeing such talent investing their time in here, refining themselves, getting so good. Rocket League grows consistently in this region, and it means, you know, it is sad that this is the end of it, but we're going into RLCS in like, what, a month's time right now? These players who are proving themselves, we are finding diamonds time and time again, and as the dust settles after every season, the number of gems that just stand out, that make me smile, and I go, I will see you guys in a month. I better see you in those bigger leagues, because wow. And the work that has gone into this entire series, this entire season, this league, has paid off when you start to see the impact it's made in the players' lives. So huge thanks, like Rhino says, to everyone who was involved, and so excited for the future of Rocket League here.
And that segues beautifully into the fact that now there's a little bit of a breather with the end of RSC, but it's a short one because then RLCS does get underway. And oh, Ultrism, don't we wish there was a month? Signups close in 11 days. The first qualifiers are in 2 weeks. So we are really close. So we'll go from one madness to the next. And then FIFA World Cup is going to be starting early next year. It's not going to be right at the end like the last 2 years. There is a lot. Then we're going to have RSC Season 5. It is going to be wall-to-wall Rocket League all year long, and we will all be here for it. And so will you. So will everyone who has been here for the journey that we are currently on. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a Rocket League main. So we will thank everybody involved next Thursday. Do not miss that stream. But for now, I want to do a quick shout out to Dutch. Desolation Daniel, our regular broadcaster, was traveling tonight. Dutch stepped into the breach and he's done a magnificent job. So just a special shout out to him. And of course, Heinz, who's been here all season long as the admin. And now I'm going to start thanking people. This is not the time. Be here next Thursday. We'll thank everybody. In the meantime, from me, Greybeard, Rhino, and Ultrism, peace. We're out.
They do not know the rising towers of Hillbrow. They do not know the sprawling suburbs of the north. They do not know the sweet sounds of isiXhosa, Afrikaans, Sesotho. They do not know our ways. They do not know our people. They do not know us. We are not waiting for permission. We are not asking to be seen. We are our own region. We are SSA, RSC Johannesburg, RSC Nairobi, RSC Saint-Denis. This is not just a league, it is a movement. 4 seasons deep, and we are only just beginning. We train on 200 ping. We grind through blackout. We fight through silence. And we win anyway. This is Sub-Saharan Africa. This is our fight. This is Season 4.